with tangerine flavor. It says Piva Cola, Piva Orange, Piva Cocktail, Piva Grape, Piva Tangerine. Grab yours today. It's available at a local store or call us at 0550-032-231. Piva Beverages, a taste you will love. An advert that's FDA approved. Use review coming up shortly.
City Breakfast Show. The city's biggest conversation.
Looking for a burst of flavor in every sip? Discover the refreshing taste of Piva beverages. Enjoy the classic Piva Cola flavor, perfect fit anytime. How about a fruity adventure? Try our delightful Piva orange fruit drink packed with recognized citrus flavor. Craving something exotic? Our Piva cocktail fruit drink brings the tropics to you. For a sweet and juicy treat, grab our grapefruit drink and don't miss out on the refreshing Piva tangerine fruit drink, bursting with tangerine flavor. Piva Cola, Piva Orange, Piva Cocktail, Piva Grape, Piva Tangy. Grab yours today. Available now at your local store. Call us on 055-00-322-31. Piva, a taste you love. This advert is FDA approved.
P for Piva.
Oh, jump on now. Go. Google me. Now, what time when you come back, we are not hear the sound of your car. Why you buy new car?
No, I not change my car. It be the same, right? It be the fuel way I change. Way one shouts it. Ever since I started using the all-new Excellium Premium Fuel, fortified with 3-in-1 action. Oh, Joe, now my car they run like electric car. No, it's so.
This is the type of fuel where they want to. Because now engine they cost. Where they want for way if I buy it go protect my engine. And with the small way I buy, I'll go drive, sir.
Absolutely. It's like strapping a turbocharger to your engine and giving it a protector. And what they bust my mind, Seth, be the 3-in-1 action, no? Excellium, they prevent up to 99% of deposit. It be anti-wear, some be anti-corrosion. Won't pay when I open them.
Hey, so where can I find this magical fuel?
Just head over to any Total Energy service station and your car will thank you.
Hey, then make a finish my go be fast, then rush go Total Energies. My friend, but why your hand my go be inside?
I give you info. Make a fill the go be too small.
Go.
Excellium is designed to protect your car engine, decrease fuel consumption, and lower CO2 emissions. Don't say fuel, say Excellium. Choose Excellium, choose quality.
My buddy, when you wake up in the morning and you know the money calling, oh, you go work, but you know it's out your side. If I believe with us, if I hold my hand and believe, oh, cause you know it's out your side. And when you dream, no say I live by you. And when you hustle every day, many wanna go. Anything you do, I live by you. Many want. If I believe I live your side, fidelity. If I believe with us, fidelity. If I know I live your side, fidelity.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
This is the City Breakfast Show. The city's biggest conversation.
Sometimes the time to be bigger, bigger, stronger, stronger, harder, harder. It's time to be bigger, bigger, stronger, stronger, harder, harder. It's time to be.
The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Mine has had its many toes, yeah. Still sometimes the pain is what we need for us to grow, yeah. So when it's time for me to look into my deeper side, I will find a way to hold on to the love inside. It's time to be bigger, bigger, stronger, stronger, harder, harder. Yes, I can be bigger, bigger, stronger, stronger, harder, harder. Yes, I can be bigger, bigger, stronger, stronger, harder, harder. Yes, I can be bigger, bigger, stronger, stronger, harder, harder. Yes, I can be. See, I can be anything I want to be. All I have to do is put my mind to it, and I can do it. So what I want you to do is put your fist in the sky.
37 after 6, Tire Cruise. I can be bigger, stronger, harder. Yeah, and the smell can be brighter. Like Bernard's this morning. Good morning, Oloski.
Good morning, Caleb.
Good to see you again.
It's great to have you back.
Yeah, man.
After 1 week,
Charlie,
are we recovering from
tell you.
something that somebody was doing to you?
I'll be hanging
I
corner.
tell you, it's good to see you back
Thank you so
in
much.
the neck collar.
Yeah, the recovery process is ongoing.
You
so-
are already healed in
Amen.
Jesus' name.
Amen. Amen.
Just take it one day at a time
yeah, man.
and don't do anything Sky will not do.
Blow, blow, blow. Richard and the sky. Good morning.
Hey, Amanovi.
Good to see you.
Show where's on?
Talk with you, la.
So, Bobovoma over the door, they meet Tafli them.
Like you super Amen.
Alaba me da over jet top of go glow kiak again.
Amen, oh.
Bobovoma Omar Funami.
At all.
Hey, true. But, you know, at the moment we all know play me at you. That's what you could not blame.
Oh, Charlie. Oh, Blanco.
Over yes, to burn a homedy. I plug now.
Thank you.
That way, so. Talk me. They're like good job with you or me. Welcome back, my brother.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
No.
Thanks.
Charlie, how be?
Charlie, you know.
You did top?
Charlie, we did top small. Yesterday was Salah. Today is an extended edition of the Salah.
Salah 2.0.
But Salah no bring me meat.
He did a bush inside.
When I caught him, he was claiming that this is the small Salah.
He don't mind it.
So baraka the Salah to everybody.
Wow.
Happy Eid.
Yeah.
Good.
You can rest. I like April.
April brings all
Because Easter too is coming.
Yeah.
I want to stay home. So I think we should just declare the month of rest. Just for rest for us.
Very important.
Yeah, Charlie, they be rough.
Just enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, April is good.
Yes. There will be a lot of festivals that will be held across various communities that like Easter.
Oh, yes. So it's going to be very nice.
Yeah, so for instance,
Picnic
we from the Three-Town area, the Adafia area, will be doing the Nubwekaza.
What day is that?
Adafia Nubwekaza.
What is that?
So it will start, it's a week long. We'll start from the week that the Easter is.
You mean you are continuing the Easter?
Yeah, that's right.
After the Easter, you
yeah,
continue.
and then there will be, a Dudo, which is, how do you even go?
Community.
Communal you still do communal labor?
Yes, to clean the community.
Charlie, I do some tell.
You have to come with me. So
The days I was in Medina, Queen of Peace, Saturday we'll carry cutlass and hoe.
Every so.
We are doing communal labor.
Can buy it.
It was really good though.
Yes.
We'll build, we'll sweep, we'll clean.
Yes.
So you do communal labor.
Oh yeah. To sweep the community, clean up areas.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, that's right. That kind
everybody will come.
Allah.
From chief to
everybody open a gatingo.
Yes, and everybody will come and work.
Gong beaters will be gong. Yes, tingo. Yes, everybody.
I miss that. Communal labor.
Yes.
After that, sometimes you eat kinky.
Yes, it is so.
Just to enjoy the communality.
Yes. Those who manage something for their stomach to be hot, they will manage that one too.
Wow. So April is a good man.
Yeah, it's a good man. It's a good man. So we should prepare for it. Those of us who would make the effort to go and support, please, wherever you are, try go and support in Peki, Joje, Seva, Ketang, all of these community applaud all of them
do communal labor
challenge. So please, let's
but we
prepare
should
for
put
that.
it into the national constitution.
It'll be very, very important.
At least once a year, the communal labor must happen. Let's start with the websites. Usually on holidays the prints don't come out. City Newsroom has a number of stories. I'll pick about 4 that caught my attention. The Binduri MP says 150,000 cedi project monitoring fund for each MP is woefully inadequate.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Meanwhile, arrest Apenyo Makin Napo Dubik Mahama over missing ECG containers. This is Mustafa Bande.
Oh, okay.
In another story, students must not be denied their religious right. Haruna Idrisu speaking. And then in Gomoamen, Fulani headsmen attacked by locals, houses burnt. Meanwhile, Mahama tells youth embrace digital skills for a competitive future, as he advises Ghanaians and Boku residents to give peace a chance after or during Eid al-Fitr. And then lastly, a few more encroachers on Ramsar sites will be punished, Mahama speaking. And then 1 dead, 2 hospitalized after gas explosion at Oyoko in New Jabing. Those are the stories for citynewsroom.com.
Right. If you come to channel1newsroom.com, ECG scandal, Bande demands Aponyo Markin's arrest after holidays. Weak opioid controls in wholesale fuel black market sales. This is Pharmaceutical Society. Respect students' religious rights. Education Minister to schools. Gomwa Amenfi Fulani headsman.
Yeah, same story on.
Yeah, that's right. And then Manasseh Azuri demands AG's action over shocking Enchi Court Galamsey ruling.
There's also another one there. Pirate attack. They will be rescued. Ghana Maritime Authority assures families of abducted crew. And then hold ECG Temaport officials accountable for missing containers. Majority leader.
Okay, so let me take you to myjoyonline.com. The lead story says paying back stolen funds is not enough. Aveji demands tougher punishment for corrupt officials. Also on the side this morning, Kumasi Fire, Ashanti Region Minister holds creation of new lorry terminal after fire. There's another one here that says Interior Ministry declares no special security protocol for pastors and individuals. So there's no special protocol for such persons. And Arocha Ghana is warning of devastating impact of LI 2462 amendment.
Some other stories. Scrap the whole thing
entirely.
That's what we are asking for, and that's what was promised, and that's the right thing to do. Now, if you go to Star FM online, we inherited massive debt, but we are fixing it. Ahmed Ibrahim speaking. He also says, let's fix supervision gaps to end abandoned projects. So the local government minister has been speaking a bit. Sports Ministry GBA vow action on athlete safety after tragic bout. And then 14 arrested in ECG missing container scandal, according to the deputy AG. Then the same minister for local government is speaking a lot. Says if we give chiefs power, illegal mining can be stopped.
Okay.
So that's something to explore. And then Ghana Navy alerts neighbors of a pirate attack on fishing vessel. All those stories on Star FM online.
So I'll take you to graphic now. President Mahama urges compassion, education, and unity during the festivities. So secret filming reveals brazen tactics of UK immigration scammers. Very interesting story. We are told Asham and police arrest 2 suspects in robbery of businessman. NIB smashes $250 million cocaine haul. The Ghana Revenue Authority explains why it freezes accounts of taxpayers. That story is here. And the government has cancelled 2 deals by previous administrations to sell diplomatic properties in Nigeria and Zambia, we're told. So these are some of the stories on Graphic Online this morning.
Now, if you go to GNA, we are told the Speaker Bagbin says he would establish integrity awards for the Republic. Also, Tema Port ECG management must answer for missing containers. That's coming in from the Majority Leader. Another story here on the energy sector says Minister to set up committee to track 1,346 ECG missing containers. One more story that I want to bring to your attention quickly says GPHA GRA to ensure efficient cargo clearance and trade facilitation.
All right, now I think we can move abroad briefly. BBC has a lot of stories. Myanmar mourns earthquake, dead with 1 minute of silence as hopes for survivors fail.
And yesterday there was one in the US.
Charlie, this matter,
you better go, please.
The earthquake thing is coming like kakai. Russia still working with US after Trump says he is angry, quote unquote, with Putin. And then US law applies to all parties in Gaza. This is in relation to the conflict in the Middle East. And then there's some new development in the US as Republicans fear Florida election upset could threaten Trump's agenda. Caleb, let me come to you. But if you go to the BBC Africa website, Zimbabwe shuts down amid calls for protest. And then the Nigerian boxer dying after collapsing mid-bout from Ghana. There's an interesting one here. British boarding schools are so eager to open in Nigeria. And then this, your story about immigration scammers in Africa, secret filming, is also there.
I'll take you to Bloomberg. We'll go to Bloomberg now. As U.S. cuts HIV assistance, South Africa turns to miners and insurers. And South Africa's DA slams ANC lack of compromise over budget. Trump to unveil country-based reciprocal tariffs on April 2. And then OpenAI finalizes $40 billion funding at $300 billion value. And gold's rally powers South African miners to best months on record. And in Nigeria, its oil pipeline crisis will worsen under the president's power grab. That's an article here. And Trump says Putin will follow through, rebuffs Ukraine on deal.
So I think the missing ECG container story is gaining a lot of traction. There are about 3 stories I'll just give to you together. So if you go to Channel 1 News, the deputy presidential staffer is calling for some arrests. He is saying that the minority leader, who at the time was ECG board chair, together with the former CEO of ECG, Muhammad Dubik, as well as the former energy minister, should be held accountable for the missing ECG containers, over 1,300 of them. He claims there is overwhelming evidence to warrant immediate action against these, pointing to confessions and statements made by the majority leader and other key figures in the scandal. Quote, there is no evidence stronger than what a man confesses and says. Do you need other evidence more than confessions? Statements of individuals who are prime actors within the institutions that have happened. Do you need anything else? He spoke on Eyewitness News. Still on that story, hold ECG Temaport officials accountable. This is majority leader now. So Mahama Yarga has called for the management of the Temaport and the ECG to be held responsible for the disappearance of over 1,300 ECG containers filled with essential equipment. His remarks follow shocking revelations that several coils of stolen ECG cables, part of their missing containers, were discovered at aluminium smelting facilities in Shai Usudoku, where they had been melted into blocks and processed into aluminium rod for export. He was speaking on the floor of Parliament on Friday. Ayaga stressed that those involved must face justice. Then the last one in the same league, National Security arrests 2 more persons. This is from yesterday. So the National Security has arrested additional individuals, bringing the total number of suspects arrested to 14 in connection with the missing ECG containers at the Temaport. This follows the arrest of 12 Chinese nationals and a Ghanaian by operatives of the National Security. The Secretariat strongly indicated that it will continue to pursue the perpetrators responsible for the disappearance of over 1,300 containers of cables belonging to ECG from the Tema port.
Meanwhile, paying back stolen funds is not enough. Aveji demands tougher punishment for corrupt officials. This is my journal online. Former chairman of Parliament's Public Accounts Committee, James Kluter Aveji, has criticized the mere recovery of stolen public funds from corrupt officials without further consequences. According to him, allowing offenders to simply refund misappropriated money without facing punishment sets a dangerous precedent that encourages corruption. There's a quote here. someone takes $10 million of government money and trades on that money, makes an additional $5 million and is caught, they have to pay only the $10 million. How about the $5 million dollar profit or interest that the person has made? So we recover the money, but we must punish the person. He stressed, warning that failure to enforce strict punitive measures only emboldens corrupt officials.
Okay, let me take you back to the trade space, because we're talking about containers, and the GPHA and GRA are talking here on gna.org.gh. The story says GRA, GPHA to ensure efficient cargo clearance and trade facilitation. And the story is by Lord Yasoya, and says the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority has paid a working visit to his colleague Director General of the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority with a promise to collaborate on trade facilitation. Now, the visit was aimed at reinforcing the long-standing collaboration between the two institutions to improve cargo clearance, facilitation of trade, and boost revenue generation for the country. Now, Brigadier General Paul Seidu Tanye Kulono, Director General of the GPHA, said it was important for stakeholders to collaborate in reducing the cost of doing business at Ghana's ports.
Now, in the Ashanti region, almost 3,000 people were affected by the Doom fire. This is serious. Now, Ashanti region minister is revealing that at least 2,900 people were affected by the fire that ravaged buildings, containers, and makeshift structures in the Doom Central Business District on Friday, March 21. The Ashanti regional minister, Dr. Franka Makwini, has revealed. Now, the fire caused extensive damage to several shops, prompting an immediate response from the fire service, who worked diligently to contain and extinguish the flames. Now, the minister noted that while at least 1,300 individuals can sustain themselves, the rest lack the means to do so. So far, 2,900 people have been affected per the NADMO report. 1,300 plus of them have the capacity to feed themselves. At least those basic needs they can provide themselves. But about 1,500 of them do not have the capacity to do so, for which reason the support is coming. We are making sure we have them in mind to give them the basic needs. He was telling the media on Monday and assured of full support for the individuals affected.
Coaches on Ramsar sites will be punished. This is President Mahama talking tough. Kaba Atawage writes on City Newsroom that President John Dramani Mahama has vowed to take decisive action against individuals and entities that have illegally constructed buildings in unauthorized areas, including wetlands, waterways, and Ramsar sites. I was speaking at the 2025 National Eid al-Fitr celebration at the Black Star Square, where he underscored the urgent need to address the growing problem of land encroachment, which has contributed to persistent flooding and environmental degradation across Ghana. In a firm declaration, President Mahama warned that all unauthorized structures obstructing waterways would be demolished without exception. I must address a deeply troubling issue: the illegal construction of buildings in waterways, causing flooding and extensive destruction of property. As we know, the rains are about to start, and already we are seeing the flooding because people have built and blocked the rivers, and also they have nowhere to go but to back up. So he's talking about a reckless disregard for planning, regulations, and environmental safety, and he's warning that there'll be a
now,
crackdown.
let me do an environmental related one before we come to something else. So Arocha Ghana is also warning of the devastating impact of LI 2462's amendment. Now, I'm doing a major online version. Deputy Director of Arocha Ghana, Daryl Bosu, has criticized the government's proposed amendment to LI 2462, warning that it could lead to widespread destruction of the country's forest. Speaking on Joy's morning show on Monday, he highlighted the risk associated with the amendment, stressing the need for full protection of all forest reserves. According to Daryl Bosu, the original version of the LI was passed in 2022 without prior consultation with key stakeholders, including industry players, environmental groups, and the general public. The law permitted mining in both protected and production forest reserves, removing previous restrictions that had limited mining to only 2% of production forest areas. This new law took away all protection that forest reserves had. It also removed any limitation on mining, prioritizing mining permits over environmental and water resource permits. If a mining concession is granted by the minister, it becomes almost impossible for regulatory bodies like the EPA or the Forestry Commission to deny it. He further stated that environmental groups, including Arocha, had engaged both past and present governments to revoke the LI before the 2020
festival transformed the forecourt of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly into a bustling hub of culinary excellence, cultural cultural vibrancy and festive entertainment. It goes on to say that from sizzling street food to traditional, gourmet dishes, the festival showcased an impressive variety of authentic Ghanaian cuisines, giving patrons a rare chance to several flavors from across the country. Now, enthusiastic vendors served up everything from hot wachi, all the trimmings, to rich bowls of fufu with aromatic soups, grilled tilapia, and akbele banku and related matters.
Thank you, sir.
And decent local desert. And look, if you took part in the festival and you are dying for photographs as to how you performed, how you were managing the akbele and abobitadi and related matters, please, you need to visit citynewsroom.com because there are beautiful photographs here. Charlie, I see Soma, Ben, I see Oma.
He's using 2 fingers to masticate the fufu. That's what you call mastication.
Yeah. I show you to Naka.
I tell you. No,
so it's a beautiful story. So please, go have a read.
It was a great one. We have our Dahab dance band electrifies Back to Your Village Food Festival with indigenous Ghanaian music. I just want to bring you a quick story. Pharmaceutical Society calls for strict monitoring to curb opioid abuse. Now, this is a growing trend. The Pharmaceutical Society of Ghana has called for stricter regulations and enhanced monitoring to curb the growing abuse of opioids among Ghana's youth. Now, opioid addiction has become a major public health concern in Ghana, with reports indicating a surge in the illegal sale and misuse of powerful painkillers such as tramadol and codeine-based medications. The abuse of these substances has been linked to severe health complications, including addiction, mental health disorders, organ damage, and even fatality. Now, speaking on Eyewitness News on Monday, Dr. Richmond Edusapoku, a member of the Executive Committee of the Account Society, called on the Food and Drugs Authority, the Pharmaceutical Council, and other regulatory bodies to step up their oversight of pharmacies and drug distribution.
Okay, so final one for me. Mobile money transactions hit 6,492 billion Ghana cedis in only 2 months of 2025. Total value of mobile money transactions in the first 2 months of the year increased to 649.2 billion Ghana cedis, representing a year-on-year growth of 64.68%. Now, in the first 2 months of 2024, the total value of mobile money transactions was estimated at 394.2 billion Ghana cedis. According to the data from the Bank of Ghana, the value of mobile money transactions in January 2025 was 333 billion Ghana cedis, however fell to 3162 billion Ghana cedis in February. Now, this is despite the existence of the electronic transaction levy, which was abolished by the new government last week.
Okay, so there's a story that I want to bring to your attention quickly. It's related to Eid al-Fitr. It's on the front page of the Punch website. Okay. It says that low-key celebrations as Nigerians lament hardship of our brothers in Nigeria. Now, many Muslims had a low-key Eid al-Fitr.
This is not Ghana, by the way.
This is not Ghana. Celebration following the growing cost of living, which made it difficult for many to celebrate their usual style. Now, the surge in the prices of food, fuel, and transportation, along with ongoing security concerns, significantly affected the festive spirit across several parts of the country. In the northern part of the country, Muslims called for prayers to end the insecurity, hardship, and economic challenges facing the country. Nigeria is going through a lot, just like we here.
And Burma as well, a massive earthquake which shook buildings all the way through to Thailand has left many people dead as the country counts its losses. Let's pray for them for survival.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. That's where we end the news review.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Telemundus is here with the City Business News, sponsored by EcoBank, Well, and Access Bank, and MTN. I beg your pardon. Natalie, good morning to you.
Good morning, Caleb, and good morning out there. Welcome to the breakfast edition of the City Business News. The bulletin is proudly brought to you by EcoBank, MTN and GOIL. I am Netili Neti Ajahu. Coming up, Bank of Ghana Governor Dr. Johnson Isiama reveals more policy action is needed to sustain inflation decline. Also, Ghana's foreign reserves surged to $9.4 billion, strengthening economic outlook. And later, value of mobile money transactions drops to 316 billion Ghana cedis. Thanks for joining us. Let's settle for the details now. Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiama, has reaffirmed the central bank's commitment to sustaining the relative stability of the Ghana cedi, citing improved reserve buffers and positive market sentiment. According to the BOG summary of economic and financial data for the period ending March 2025, the Ghana cedi depreciated by 5.3% against the US dollar in the first quarter of 2025. Speaking at the media briefing after the bank's 123rd Monetary Policy Committee meeting, Dr. Isiama noted that despite global economic uncertainties, the trade tensions that could pose risk, and BOG remains optimistic about Ghana's macroeconomic outlook.
The foreign exchange market has continued to witness stability in recent months, and this has been aided by improved liquidity from remittance inflows and the domestic gold purchase program. The stability in the FX market is expected to remain, reflecting stronger reserve buffers and positive market sentiment. As of March 26, 2025, the Ghana cedi depreciated at a slower pace of 5.3% against the US dollar, compared to 7.6% in the same period of last year.
Dr. Johnson Isiama also acknowledged progress in tackling inflation, but insists that additional measures are required to bring it down to desired levels. He stressed the need for sustained policy efforts to maintain price stability and ease the cost of living pressures on businesses and households.
It is true that in terms of the program targets, quite a number of them have been missed. And therefore, we need to do some further work to ensure that the program remains on course. For us, one key variable is the inflation rate. And the rate where it is now at 23.1, it should have been somewhere around 17%, if I'm right, Director of Research, by now. So you see how much we have to cover to be able to stay on course. The Monetary Policy Committee considered these, and in our view, also looking at the liquidity injection that occurred last year, we need to get busy with those. The next reading for inflation will be critical, and we will be guided as to the future direction of policy.
That was the Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Isiama. Now, Ghana's gross international reserves climbed to $9.4 billion at the end of February 2025, providing 4.2 months of import cover. This marks a substantial increase from the $5.9 billion recorded in December 2024, which covered 4 months of imports. Already, Governor Dr. Johnson Isiama has confirmed that the reserve accumulation aligns with the International Monetary Fund's program expectations for 2026. The increase in reserves was driven by a strong external sector performance, with Ghana's trade accounts recording a surplus in early 2025. Total exports surged by 50% year-on-year to $4.3 billion, fueled by higher gold and export volumes and prices. However, crude oil exports declined due to reduced output from the country's 3 oil-producing fields. Meanwhile, total imports rose by 7.3% year-on-year to $2.7 billion. Now, the value of mobile money transactions in the country has declined to 316 billion Ghana cedis in February 2025, down from the 333 billion Ghana cedis in January. In comparison, the value of transactions in January 2025 was 195.8 billion Ghana cedis. This according to latest data from the Bank of Ghana published in its summary of economic and financial data for March 2025. Daniel Ojo-Mensah has more in the following Business Desk report.
In contrast, December 2024 recorded a higher transaction value of 334.8 billion cedis. Throughout 2024, mobile money transaction values experienced steady growth. However, the number of transactions dropped to 698 million in February 2025, down from 726 million in January. This decline follows a peak of 745 million transactions in December 2024. Despite the month-on-month decline, a year-on-year comparison shows a significant increase, with transactions rising from 609 million in February 2024 to 698 million in February 2025. With the recent removal of the 1% electronic levy on mobile money transactions, industry analysts anticipate a strong rebound in the sector in the coming months.
That was a business desk report filed by my colleague Daniel Odromensa. Economist Professor Peter Quarter is urging swift reforms to streamline trading activities at Ghana's ports, asserting their potential to boost government revenue. He argues that optimizing port operations could help offset potential revenue shortfalls, which may result from the scrapping of key taxes such as the e-levy and betting winning taxes. Speaking at a media engagement, Professor Peter Quarter reiterated the need for pragmatic policy interventions to curb these concerns.
For those of you who saw President Atamils go to the ports, he was very passionate about what happens there. If we streamline that place, we will not borrow. A lot of leakages, a lot of money goes through the port. But we have agents, people who act as agents. We want to clear goods, we work through an agent. Sometimes the monies they collect, they are fees they have created in our minds. It doesn't go to government. They don't give you receipts. So many levies and charges and whatever, it makes so expensive to import.
Professor Peter Quarter is an economist. Now, the Concerned Farmers Association of Ghana has raised alarm over the looming risk of Ghana's cocoa being banned from the international market due to the devastating impact of illegal mining. According to the association, cocoa production has witnessed a sharp decline in recent years, a trend they attribute to the destruction of farmlands by illegal mining activities. Speaking to Business News, the president of the Concerned Farmers Association of Ghana, Farmer General Nana Obuadi Bonsu, urged the government to implement job creation initiatives in galamsey-prone areas.
The stories that we are getting from the international community, if care is not taken, they will not buy again. There will be a totally ban from Ghana's cocoa due to the destruction that has been happening in our forest, and at the same time, this galamsey as a whole. Ireland, this government came and then it said the Cocoa Education Project and other government flagship program, but it has not been rolled out here. Jobs have not been created, and the only source of their livelihood is for them to destroy the forest. We are not getting the support from the government, and we have the antidote to solve this issue. Sending soldiers and the military and other people, they won't solve the situation. There is no job. When you create a job, this thing will stop. That is why we are saying that the Cocoa Education Project should come out. It has kept long too much.
That is the president of the Concerned Farmers Association of Ghana, Farmer General Nana Obuadi Bonsu. Now let's have a quick market check on the currency board across some forex bureaus. The dollar is going for 15 cedis 90 pesos, the British pound for 20 cedis 3 pesos, and the euro for 16 cedis 75 pesos. Remember that these rates are being offered by the forex bureaus to the public. And that's it for the breakfast edition of the City Business News. It was brought to you by EcoBank, MTN, and GOIL. For more news, visit newsroom.com/business. I am Netele Nete Ajahu. Have a good business day.
Charlie, where are you?
Boss man, I'm at the bank.
Really? But your car is in front of your house.
Bro, my bank on my phone, Charlie.
Oh, how?
EcoBank, bro. With EcoBank mobile app, I can do everything, anywhere, anytime. Listen, I just checked my account balance, paid Ahmed's school fees, and sent money to my grandma at Walwale.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Masa, just download the EcoBank mobile app from the Google Play Store or the App Store, or dial *770# and be your own bank manager.
Manager.
Whether to pay bills or fees, to check account statements, send money across Ghana, abroad, and more, EcoBank mobile app has got it covered. EcoBank Mobile, making everyday people live everyday lives the EcoBank way. EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
I'm losing composure. I really need to focus. There's something inside you, I've been what you want right now. In fact, I'm on my way right now. So tell me if you did like I really did for you. Oh.
It's 10 after 7. Every day people face different emergencies. Police emergency, fire emergency, medical emergency, just name it. And many Ghanaians don't know their emergency numbers. Well, here's one you would want to remember. Star 770 hash. Star 770 hash. Yes, star 770 hash is the new EcoBank money emergency number. Star 770 hash. It gives you instant access to loans, funds transfer, utility payments, airtime and data purchases, and so much more, even without data. So there's no need to panic when you find yourself in any money emergency. EcoBank will always come to your rescue. Dial star 770 hash now for solutions to your money emergencies. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank. Time for kickoff. Gabby Affairs here. Kickoff is brought to you by Lesheho, Zonda Ghana, and Shell. Lesheho Don't Come campaign has come to you because you deserve financial peace. Life comes with financial challenges, but with Lesheho, you don't have to face them alone. From now until April 30, 2025, we've reduced our interest rates just for you. Whether it's education, rent, or unexpected expenses, we've got the right loan to meet your needs. Simply WhatsApp or call Nana on 0270 040 799 or 0270 040 733. Let's make life easier together. Act now before the offer ends. T's and C's apply. Shareholders improve life. And Gabby Affair is here. Good morning, Gabby.
Hi, Caleb. Good morning. Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. So what's this tragic story about your namesake, Gabriel Olusegun?
Yeah, Oluwasegun.
Oh, Oluwasegun. Yeah.
Ola Orenwaju.
Okay.
Yeah, that's so that's the Nigerian boxer. So he was partaking in Ghana's boxing professional league organized by the Ghana Boxing Authority, or if you want to extend it, IMAX Boxing Promotions.
Cool.
So that's we are in season 3, or they are in season 3. It's being organized at the Bukom Boxing Arena.
Yeah.
And yes, normally on the weekends. So we have this the disease that's the Nigerian boxer partaking in it, and according to the latest reaction from the president of the Nigerian Boxing Board Control, they had zero idea about the Nigerians' decision to partake in the professional league.
Oh.
And so they are demanding answers from the Ghana Boxing Authority to one.
As to how the guy got involved.
Yes, as to how he got involved in the professional league,
yeah.
and they want the autopsy report. Now, according to the Boxing Authority, they are saying that because, it's holiday, so yesterday and today, so they would have to submit their autopsy report later tomorrow to the Nigerian Boxing Board Control.
Wow.
It's a sad story because
they didn't sanction the match.
They didn't sanction the match, and questions have been raised as to if this boxer is healthy. So on the part
Whether he was fit for the match.
So on the part of IMAX Promotions, did they do due diligence to check the boxer's health before allowing him to face the Ghanaian boxer? A lot of questions has been asked, and so we'll be keeping tabs on the story. Tomorrow we'll get the autopsy report,
right.
And then I think because the Nigerians are not too happy, I listened to their president, Mr. Oladipo, who was not too happy with the incident, and he's saying that the GB, that's the Boxing Authority, would have to give us answers. Now, you know what this has done? It has extended to the Boxing Federation too, because they had the amateur boxing league that would have started on April 4. Now that has been postponed because that same arena, the owners of the arena, Transport Emporium, that's the same arena that hosts the professional league.
Right.
That's the Bukom Boxing Arena. They have to get that postponed. And on that very day, there were some amateur boxers there. So in terms of their psyche,
psychologically,
yes, would
it's
they be
impacting
fed
them.
to Charlie?
Wow.
It's not a good story.
Let's kick off, Gabi.
Yeah.
Let's kick off.
All right, Tuesday morning. Welcome aboard to kickoff on 97.3 Citi FM. Thanks to Zonda GH Shall Go Well and La Shell Less Improve Life. Coming up is match week 30 in the English Premier League. We'll get to build up to the games coming up later tonight. Plus, hear from the sports ministry on the passing of the Nigerian boxer. And then we have some outstanding games coming up as well later today in the Ghana Premier League. All right, I am Gabi Ofer. Let's get into it tonight. Ghana's Minister of Sports and Recreation, Kofi Idi Adams, has issued a heartfelt condolence message following the sudden death of Nigerian boxer Gabriel Oluwasegun. Now, the veteran athlete passed away after competing in an 8-round international light heavyweight bout against Ghanaian boxer Johnny Mbanugu at the Bukom Boxing Arena. The statement expressed deep sadness and extended sympathies to Gabriel's family, friends, and the Nigerian Boxing Board of Control, and also the global boxing community. While awaiting an official medical report on the cause of the death, the ministry pledged full cooperation with the Ghana Boxing Authority to investigate the incident and enhance athletes' safety measures. Meanwhile, reacting to that is Dr. Rafiu Oladipo, who is the president of the Nigerian Boxing Board Control. And he says they want to know the circumstances that led to the death of the Nigerian boxer.
And the federal government of Nigeria is interested in this case. They will want to know the circumstances that led to his death. That is where we are now.
Okay, so Dr. Oladipo, I'm curious. So after the sad incident on Saturday, have you communicated with your Ghanaian counterparts to
Of course, we are talking to them.
Okay, and what have they told you?
They told us that his body has been taken to the mortuary and that Ghana is on holidays as it is in Nigeria here. And so the autopsy will be done on Wednesday before we can know what to do. But questions are begging for answers. They are begging for answers. If the correct rules were applied by the GPA, so that is the situation where we find ourselves now. As you are talking to me, I'm with the secretary and members of the board of the Nigerian Boxing Board of Control to go to the family house of Segun's success. He has a wife and I think 3 children.
All right, so that's Dr. Rafiu Oladipo speaking on Sporty FM yesterday. Well, also reacting to the sad news is Managing Director of Transport Emporium, Sheliako Harrison. She disclosed that discussions are underway with the Ghana Boxing Federation to arrange a meeting aiming to provide young boxers with psychological support before the league resumes.
I've called for a meeting Wednesday morning, first with my management, and then we would have a meeting with GBF as well. But definitely there would need to be some kind of psychological briefing. And I don't know if you remember when we spoke about the boxing league, I mentioned the fact that we wanted to do everything professionally. So we've actually started speaking with Trust Hospital to see the possibility of them carrying out medicals for the boxers we've chosen. And for us, what we had actually decided is that even before each event, although we are going to do the medicals to start the whole thing, the morning before each event, we are still going to do medicals because anything can happen. I mean, you can be well today and be ill tomorrow. So we would take all those precautions to ensure that nobody is not in a medically fit condition to be able to take part in it. If anybody shows any sign of not being well, that fight will not feature at all. Yeah, but then we're going to have a meeting with the GBF and see how best we can offer some psychological help to the amateur boxers and take a decision from there.
All right, so that's Shirley Ako Harrison. She's the managing director of the Trust Sports Emporium. That's where the Bukom Boxing Arena is located, and that's the arena for holding the Ghana Professional Boxing League. Let's talk about the Under-17 AFCON happening in Morocco. Senegal will take on Gambia later today at 2 p.m. Mali up against Angola at 5 p.m. Somalia will play Tunisia at 5 p.m. and also Ivory Coast up against Central Africa Republic. That game will kick off at 8 p.m. I know you're wondering where Ghana is. Well, Ghana did not qualify for the tournament, and so yeah, we'll be keeping tabs on the other African countries partaking in the Under-17 AFCON happening in Morocco. Now, today's word, the National Sports Authority has denied Hatterfolk permission to play their scheduled GPO match against Nations FC later tomorrow at the Accra Sports Stadium, citing a special request from the Ghana Football Association that has not yet been approved. The decision adds to the ongoing challenges Hatterfolk face with their home venues. Meanwhile, the NSA boss Jan Pofankra has assured that his team will take proactive measures to ensure that the national stadia across the country are maintained in top condition.
Yeah, planning, preparation, prevention. So we can plan to get this venue upgraded. We can plan to get Babayara, Cape Coast upgraded. We can prepare with what we have and what we need in terms of bringing in extra resources, whether it's technology, logistics, floodlights or scoreboard. And then, of course, prevention in that we don't need to wait until CAF knocks or FIFA knocks on our doors or, at our doorstep before we take these measures. So we need to be proactive, and that is exactly what I want to do, and we've started doing. So hopefully we'll get the support we need from the various sectors in order to ensure we don't have a repeat of the past shortcomings.
Yao Ampofankra is the National Sports Authority Director General. Well, speaking of the Ghana Premier League, we have two games coming up later today. Bibiani Gold Stars will take on Heart of Lions. Mediama Sporting Club are up against Basake Holy Stars. These are outstanding games in the Ghana Premier League Match Week 21. Well, from the GPO, let's head to the EPO. And Manchester City striker Erling Haaland will see a specialist after suffering an ankle injury in Sunday's FA Cup win against Bournemouth, with the club expecting him to play again this season. The Norwegian was substituted in the 61st minutes. After scoring the equalizer, City went on to beat the Sheriffs 2-1 and also reached the semi-finals. The 24-year-old was later seen in a video on social media leaving the Vitality Stadium on crutches with his left knee in a protective boot rather. On the pitch later today, March week 30, Arsenal take on Fulham at the Emirates at 7 p.m. We hear from Arsenal's first team manager Mikel Arteta on if the team's target is to finish second this season.
I appreciate the question. Hopefully we're not going to get there. If we get there one day, we can discuss about that. Now the focus is about just winning against Fulham.
But is there a difference between the positions 1 to 4, or do you see it as 1 and then anything within 2 to 4 is just position?
The target obsession is 1. After that, let's see.
And in terms of Ethan Winari, of course, Saka's now about, how does Ethan's role potentially change this season and maybe at the start of next season too?
Like with the other ones, so at the start of the season he had a situation, but he proved to everybody that he was ready and he deserved more minutes. It's about the impact that you have in training and in games when you have the opportunity to play, to show. And if someone shows that they can impact the game and help us to win football matches, he will be on that pitch.
Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta speaking ahead of today's game against Fulham. That game will kick off at 6:45 p.m. Well, Wolves lock on to West Ham United at the Molineux. Nottingham Forest will battle Manchester United at the City ground. We hear from City's United head coach Ruben Amorim.
14, 15 days. Will that be a factor on? I don't know. Of course, Nuno will say that it was better to have more time to prepare the game, and I can say that there's a long time in the good moment without games, but they played that cup stage, they won, and that is really important to recover players. So the environment will be really nice. They are doing amazing, and we want to continue to win games.
All right, so that's Manchester United's head coach Ruben Amorim speaking there. Well, he says Bruno Fernandes will not be leaving the club this summer and wants him to be part of his title-winning squad.
That is the challenge. I want Bruno here because, like I said, in maybe in the lowest moments of our season, we want to win the Premier League again. So we want the best players to continue with us. And this is 29, I think, but he's still so young because he plays 55 games every season. Between assists and goals, he's there for 30 at least. So he's the type of player that we want here.
All right, so it's Nottingham Forest taking on Manchester United later tonight, and that game will be live on 97.3 at 7 p.m. Do join us for the very latest and live radio commentary from our partners TalkSport in the UK. Now, before I leave, in pre-season, Arsenal and Spurs will contest the first North London derby to be held outside the UK when the two teams face each other in a pre-season friendly in Hong Kong this summer. The London rivals will play in the newly opened Kai Tak Stadium on July 31 as part of their preparations for the 2025-26 season. Well, that's the very latest in the world of sports. For more, you can head to citysportonline.com, and on X, you can find us at CitySportJHA. Kickoff was proudly brought to you by Zonda J Shell Go Well, and Lesheho. Let's improve life. I am Gabi Ofe. Enjoy the rest of your day. Do take care and bye-bye.
If you need unique services, innovative financial solutions, we deliver on our promise, cause we are number one. Let's share go, we improve your life. Let's share go, let's share go, hey mama, hey mama, hey mama. Even when you're stuck with nothing, no matter your situation, let's share go, we improve your life. Let's share go, hey, let's share go, hey, let's share go, hey mama, hey mama, hey mama. Let's share go, we improve your life.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
Ghana, our homeland, a land of beauty, culture, and pride. From breathtaking reserves to iconic landmarks, Ghana stands tall as the gateway of Africa. Now, imagine carrying a piece of Ghana with you. Introducing the GTB Ghana Month Collection, designed to let you wear the pride of our nation, the spirit of our people, and the soul of our heritage. Don't just wear African prints, wear a piece of Ghana. Available at all accredited GTP dealers nationwide, the GTP retail store in Usu, and online at shop.gtpfashion.com. Verify authenticity by matching the code on the edge of the fabric with the code on the label. Happy Independence Day from GTP. Life styled.
Where do your hopes and dreams take flight? The money you've earned, the future shining bright. At Petra, we're not just here for your retirement plan. We are here for the life you've imagined and then some. From your child's education to your dream home's door, we'll help you achieve what you're striving for. Petra is here, steady and strong. Your wealth in safe hands, where it belongs. With investments that grow at rates that compete, we build your future with every heartbeat. That's Petra, your partner. Come joy or strife, guiding you toward the dreams that define your life. For your pensions, investments, loans, and more, visit our website at petraonline.com or dial *447 *70#. Petra, achieve more.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Chiquitita, tell me what's wrong. You're enchained by your own sorrow. In your eyes, there is no hope for tomorrow. How I hate to see you like this. There is no way you can deny it. I can see that you're all so sad, so quiet. Chiquitita, tell me the
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
I'm sure that you can cry on. Your best friend, I'm the one you must rely on. You were always sure of yourself. Now I see you broken and pleasant. I hope we can hash it out together. Chiquitita, you and I know how the heartaches come and they go and the stars they're leaving. You'll be dancing once again and the pain will end. You will have no time for grieving. Chiquitita, you and I cry, but the sun is still in the sky and shining above you. Let me hear you sing once more like you did before. Sing a new song, Chiquitita. Try once more like you did before. Sing a new song, Chiquitita. So the walls came tumbling down, and your love's turned long out window. All is gone, and it seems too hard to handle. Chiquitita, tell me the truth. There is no way you can deny it. I see that you're all so sad, so quiet. Chiquitita, you and I know how the heartaches come and they go and the stars they're leaving. You'll be dancing once again and the pain will end. You will have no time for grieving. Chiquitita, you and I cry, but the sun is still in the sky and shining above you. Let me hear you sing once more like you did before. Sing a new song, Chiquitita. Try once more like you did before. Sing a new song, Chiquitita. Try once more like you did before. Sing a new song, Chiquitita.
The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
I don't wanna talk about things we've gone through, though it's hurting me. Now it's history. I played all my cards, and that's what you've done too. Nothing more to say, no more race to play. The winner takes it all, the loser standing small beside the victory. That's her destiny. I was in your arms, thinking I belonged there. I figured it made sense, building me a fence, building me a home, thinking I'd be strong there, but I was a fool, laying by the rules. The gods make wrong with dice, their minds as cold as ice, and someone way down here loses someone dear. The winner takes it all, the loser has to fall. It's simple and it's plain. Why should I complain? But tell me, does she kiss like I used to kiss you? Does it feel the same when she calls your name? Somewhere deep inside, you must know I miss you. But what can I say? Rules must be obeyed. The judges will decide the likes of me.
So 7:38, we're still here on the City Breakfast Show. Still reflecting on what I would say has been a very successful month of March. And it was alleged that Susu, you had a flask on your neck.
No, I had
Was it Saturday or Sunday?
it was like the cooler ice chest kind of thing. No, it was not an allegation. I had it.
And they say you were moving and just pouring things inside.
No, but you see, there's so many things you want to try that if I say I'm going to try it all day.
Yeah, so you needed to store some.
So I was trying them. So when I went home, I've been trying them small.
So you actually took some things home.
Yeah.
Did you eat any food that you hadn't eaten before?
Oh no.
So you are not experimental.
I'm not experimental.
Did you get your kinky?
No, it's just that you see it was very crowded. So
too many people.
Yeah, so sometimes you see something you want to buy, the crowd, the thing.
You came at peak time.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Caleb too, you came on Saturday, right?
Yeah, I passed through on Saturday. Yeah.
In your neck collar.
Charlie.
What happened to you? No, I mean, you have to tell us because you can't just show up in a necktie, like, you know.
Yeah. You know, I was in my University of Ghana shirt, like you. Mine was the blue one, you see. So Friday morning,
coming to work.
This was 21st March. I was coming to work,
right.
You know, and I'd gone past on the Agbogba Road. Those who know the Agbogba Road, you notice that around Star Oil, the potholes had been patched. So I was happy about it. I was even going to come talk about it.
Star Oil, the place
there's like a depression like that. So when you go past, there are a lot of potholes there. So they fixed all those.
The potholes.
Nice. So I was happy.
So this is the middle of the Agoba Atomic Junction Road.
Exactly. So right after that stretch, there's a curve and then there's an uphill a bit before you get to Wisconsin. Now I got there and then there was an Uber driver coming from a minor road that joins the main road.
So this is from your right?
Yes, from my left actually.
From your left?
Yes. So in my lane coming towards Wisconsin, then he's coming from my left.
Okay.
The guy gets to the junction, he doesn't stop.
he runs.
He just
crosses you.
Yes, and then I run into him. The impact was really, really bad. I mean, when people say they saw their life flash before them, back then when people say that, I'm a bit cynical. I'm like, hey, with the, but on that day, like, it was crazy. But for my seat belt, for God's grace, like, it would have been bad.
So I know there are a few shops on your left, and there's a road with a roughish entrance.
The road is bad, yes.
So he was coming down.
He was coming onto the road.
You had the right of way.
I had the right of way, so I was just coming. Before I knew, guy emerges and I hit him at the side. He was driving a Toyota Vitz. So
what color is it?
It's black.
What time of the day is
this? Was the street lights from where I had come from. The lights were on, but towards where I was going, it was dark.
So where the accident occurred, there was no street light.
It wasn't visible. So he just emerged. Before I knew, guy has crossed me.
Emerged from nowhere.
From nowhere, and I run into his side. You see, it was perpendicular also, because then if he had gone ahead of me, I would have hit his back.
Ooh.
But I hit his side where his passenger sat. So the passenger, the two doors, I hit both doors, and that was just how bad it was. My car almost went off the road. I had to.
You didn't see him,
bro. He just emerged onto the road, man.
He didn't honk. He didn't have.
He didn't honk. Nothing.
Have the proper light.
Nothing.
It was like there's something black appearing out of nowhere to cross you.
And you see, funny enough, a week or two prior, we were discussing road crashes, and I was eloquently reading statistics of crashes and how many people have died, and you were like, we need to humanize these stories and things. But I really felt it.
So what happened to your car?
My car was damaged. So the fender on the driver's side.
When you hit him, did you stay on, or did the impact move you?
It threw me off, and so I had to maneuver it onto the other side of the road. So if anyone drove around the Agbogba Road on Friday 21st around 6:30, 7:30, you'd have seen a car, the driver's side in the gutter and
so
the
your
back
car
on the road.
Your tires fell in the gutter.
Yes.
From the impact.
Yes.
Luckily, there was no car coming to.
Yes, because it was really early and it was even raining. And
it was raining.
It was drizzling around that time, and all the airbags in the car exploded. And by the time I got into the gutter, there was this smoke coming from the bonnet side. I actually thought it was going to catch fire. I was surprised to come out of the car.
So you were able to have the presence of mind.
Yes.
To come out of the vehicle.
Yes. So I then made some quick calls to the office that I couldn't get in on time, and then went to assist the other guy. Stopped the first car. He didn't stop. Another guy came. He stopped, Good Samaritan, and then got us to the hospital because the side I hit had a passenger there. So he was most impacted. So my main concern was how to get us.
The passenger who was in the front.
Exactly. So then we went to.
Which means both cars from the impact were moved from the main road. So you entered some gutter and he also went somewhere.
Well, he was still on the road a bit, but later on he claimed that his car spinned. I didn't really see that.
You wouldn't see. You didn't remember.
Yeah, I didn't really see.
So you were able to stop a vehicle.
Yes.
Which took all three of you.
Yes. We pushed this car out of the way, and then we joined that vehicle.
So this Good Samaritan, do you remember? Was it a public passenger car?
No, it was a private vehicle. He didn't mention his name. He just took us. We went first to North Legon Hospital.
You didn't remember his name?
No, he didn't mention his name. It was when we got to the Prescott Medical Center around Rollins Circle, and he told me that, look, it's an accident. I should just take it easy. We should just go through the hospital and then we'll be fine.
So he carried the three of you to the hospital?
Yeah.
And by this time, it was around 6 a.m.?
Yes, it was around 6. By this time, I'm told Fred was doing the news.
Yeah, I heard him do the news. So 21st March, which is the Friday, it was drizzling. So you see, guys, you notice that all the things. It was a dark road, and then this person was in a black car.
Yeah.
And then there's no real lighting there. And then it was raining slightly.
Yeah.
Were you speeding?
No,
do you know how much?
Around that time, I was on to about 80 kilometers. Because around that time, traffic is not no, there's no traffic on the road.
80 is okay because 80 is supposed to be the maximum.
And that was the main road.
That's the other thing.
But where was he driving?
So on the
Agbogba.
So on the main Agbogba, Wisconsin to Atomic Junction Road.
Agbogba, Wisconsin.
So you notice if you're going to, do you know Wisconsin University?
Yes.
There's a road that's that road. That is a road that takes you to the main Atomic Junction Hatcho Road.
Yeah, as in the Atomic where the blast happened.
So the Agbogba to that road. So the Atomic Johnson Road is the main road. And then Caleb's Road is taking you all the way to Old Ashoman.
Yeah.
That I don't think, once you don't remember the number you were doing,
You don't think?
Yeah,
okay.
so
No problem.
Yeah.
Now, I was just talking about the various things that happened. The weather, the speed, the dark streets. And as you said, it was the seatbelt that helped. So if you hadn't been in seatbelt,
really bad for
you
the
would have been in
seatbelt.
trouble.
Would have just been bad.
And then you didn't think of calling an ambulance.
Actually, no.
So you just stopped the next car.
No. Because around where we were, no. It was early also. Imagine, even the first hospital we went to was not operational. This was just before 5:30 thereabout.
So a lot of these hospitals are not even 24 hours.
It's not 24
because where the thing happened, there's a hospital, the North Legon Hospital.
That's where we went. That was the first place we went to.
And they are closed.
I got out of the car because I was a bit fit. So I got out of the car, tried hello, I go.
Nobody.
Not even security. There was not security there.
They've closed the station now.
So from there we were heading towards Pentecost Hospital. Then the guy said, oh, he takes his kids to this other medical center. I said, no problem. So we went there, it was Prescott, they were open, and then that's when he took us in. Yeah.
They were to stabilize you.
Yes.
So how are the two guys doing?
They are well.
They are fine. So the passenger is okay now.
He's fine. Yes.
And then the driver.
The driver too is okay.
And the police also came on the scene.
The police came in, and this gentleman. So the police did their measurements.
So forget all the gentlemen. What the police say?
So the police, based on their measurements, noticed that I had the right of way. The gentleman had come in at the wrong time, so they charged him for careless and inconsiderate driving. Because if you're coming onto a main road, the one driving on the main road has the right of way.
So you also sped onto the main road?
Yes. And even, you see, when you get to that side, later when I was there, I was watching, that road is even bad.
Yeah,
the road he came from onto the main road is very bad. So everyone that gets there slows down.
Yeah, because that I know there's a bit of
some depression there.
So how did he enter the road? Did you check whether his brake was working?
So the DVLA has to test the vehicles, and because yesterday and today are holidays, that will be done.
So they want to be sure that there was no fault with either car that led to
exactly.
Wow, this is serious. So as they say, we thank God that you're still alive, And I was saying last 2 weeks that we shouldn't just report statistics; we should report real things. And I think, from your side, there are many things. Okay, driving at dawn, the streets are dark, the speed at which you drive. If it's raining, do you have to really move? Okay, and all of those things. Is the car in good condition? Is the light working? All of those things. Do you know the road you are on? Because I'm told that later on the driver said he didn't even know that area well.
Yes.
That's the other thing. So the Uber driver didn't know the area. So it means that he doesn't know that maybe he's entering the main road.
Exactly. You see, initially when the police had charged him and said he was wrong, he was challenging it until the owners of the other thing is that he's an Uber driver. The car is not his. So when the crash happens, he's defending himself and saying that he feels that I was at fault. So a bit later, when the owners of the vehicle came and saw the police measurements, they then agreed that no, their driver was at fault. It was then that he called later to apologize, to say, oh, he doesn't even know the area. He had just gone to pick someone and got another rider, blah, 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 and all of that.
I used to think the police measurement thing was for fun, but apparently
it's serious.
There's a whole method to it.
Yeah, they will ask you where the crash initially happened.
So do you know how they do that?
Yeah, so it is part of the evidence gathering process in order to basically, where appropriate, transport the court to the scene through those photographs and the details that they take in order to help the court come to a conclusion one way or the other as to who is to be held liable for the outcome.
So it's a scientific method.
Exactly. Often we drop the word accident and use it interchangeably with crash. They are not the same.
So what happened was a road crash?
Yes.
Then is the court that determines it was an accident or not?
Yeah, because the element of human fault would determine whether it was a crash or it was an accident. An accident, it was unforeseen, and you can't really hold anybody responsible, strictly speaking.
Like a force measure.
Exactly.
But a crash, okay. So, but was there CCTV camera there? CCTV?
I saw something like that later, I don't think the visuals have been retrieved by the police. I saw a CCTV camera.
Is it
at that particular
a public
junction.
one or a private one?
No, it's a private one by the roadside.
To some building?
No, it's right by the roadside.
A CCTV camera?
Yes, so you see that white one. One faces this way, one faces that way. And
Really?
one faces
Those are for the whole of Accra, the ones that you use to monitor the
That
traffic in the whole of
That
Accra.
But then the police will retrieve it so we can see.
I actually thought that would be done, but they said before the cameras came, they were still.
Pascal,
doing
you know,
it.
think about it. If we had, I don't want to give somebody procurement ideas, but imagine if we had CCTV cameras at major intersections.
Well, they are. I mean,
the
the whole of
actually-
the whole of Accra,
Yeah.
we have that. In fact, they have a
Really?
whole monitoring. Yes.
Do the courts call for it?
In appropriate cases, why not? Because it is the MTT. What's their name now?
MTTD.
Yeah, that's right. They have that. They have a monitoring office. They can tell you where traffic is building up. They can tell you what happened in a particular area and all of that. So we have that capacity. As to whether, because the last time I checked on it must have been sometime last year or 2 years ago, if my memory serves me correctly.
Yeah.
I don't know what the state is presently, but we have that capacity to
I
monitor
just wanted to
largely the
to
whole
use
of
the
Accra.
holiday to urge for defensive driving. Maybe somebody should Google what defensive driving means. But I just want to urge people, always pretend as if the person in the other car doesn't
Is a
have
fool.
sense. Yeah. So you just, so sometimes when you have right of way, when you're entering a roundabout, I'm told, and basically for my training, give way to traffic on your left. Sometimes people don't give way. They basically want to dare you, And I feel like sometimes you just have to say it doesn't matter. Because sometimes you can sit on your right and get hit, and after, at the end of the day, to waste your whole day.
But I say since that if I see house fly, you will pass. I will tell the driver, Charlie, let the house fly,
But
let the
the person will
mosquito
be
go.
behind you honking. That you should move.
Yeah, ignore them. Just signal them to fly over.
In this case, you won't even. The guy just emerged though, like
I know,
before
I know,
and
I
the intersection is like it's so perpendicular.
I know
And
that.
I was trying to explain to the guy that if you had entered before I hit you, I'd have hit your back.
Caleb, there's no way in that state you can logically reason with anybody because both of you are in shock. When something like this happens, even a day or two after is not advisable because you need to stabilize. You'll be having flashbacks and things. So I think you are right that after a week he calls and says, okay, you know what, I was wrong. He's probably sat through the thing, thought through it, and realized that he was wrong. He's not going to admit to you on the spot moment that he was wrong.
Yeah.
It's not normal to expect that. I was going to talk about defensive driving, where I still see people texting while they drive.
That is
even though
against the
it's
law.
been criminalized. And I think, you will not have a second chance to relive the moment. So you just throw the phones down or have so I have Bluetooth, I can talk. But at least you have your wits about you. So for example, you have a earpiece or like a car system. So I can be speaking to Sky and I'm driving and that's different. But to be texting or WhatsApping or to be, it's not right. Even manipulating your map. I have a map sometimes I use. It's when you get to the traffic light and it's on red, you can manipulate the map quickly. But emotion, we have to do better with driving in Ghana. People speed too much. Sometimes when I'm at I'll give a traffic intersection I usually will be at. So maybe before they did the what's the name of this one? The tunnel. Before they did the Farport tunnel. Those days when I pass Action Chapel and I'm turning left to the tunnel. Charlie. When the people going towards Pintex are on green, my lord. I mean the momentum of the speed that they used to pass by me. Or sometimes I'm at Burma camp, this place, Gifford Road. So I'm coming from say Elwak and I'm trying to turn into the Lands Commission side.
Yeah.
Charlie, the people who are going 37, you would think that the closer the light gets to amber, the more they speed. Some are even going 120. Yeah. And with that kind of level, if something tiny happens, the car, people, I think Ghana people don't obey speed limits. People don't obey speed limits. It's just too bad.
It's easily the biggest problem that we have. So the other day I was sitting with a friend. We were headed to do something close to Parliament. So we got into the Ridge roundabout.
Yeah.
Charlie, there was this BMW coming from the direction of the Pharmaceutical area.
Okay.
Which would have been, say, the Latter Day Saints Church.
Yeah.
towards Jerry Rawlings' house, and then the
roundabout.
Bro, the speed at which that guy was driving into a roundabout.
I don't know whether they are on drugs or something.
No, first of all, the question you ask is, are you in absolute control of that vehicle? Because you could apply your brakes and it will not respond. Now, if it does not respond, what do? You have already almost entered a roundabout with, I mean, he would have been doing something close to 100.
Yeah.
Entering a roundabout with that kind of speed. So you ask yourself, I mean, do people understand what the rules are? There are differences we have between a highway, a feeder road, an urban road. And there are specific requirements that go with how you drive on these roads. But the reality is that people simply...
If I had my way, I would say that the government, when they import a car or when they are doing car registration, they should put a speed limiter in cars by force. You know how some trucks have speed limiters where it can go above 80. So you know these trucks that convey fuel, they cannot go above 80 kilometers per hour. In some jurisdictions, they actually force the car owner to put a speed limiter in the car. So you go at a maximum 80. Or employers can also put trackers in the cars so that if somebody is driving an official vehicle and they go above a certain speed limit, you know. The problem is that in Ghana, because we have not demarcated the roads well, I know that you cannot go above 80 in town. The only place you can go above 80 is on the motorway. But in Ghana, people go routinely above. So
Even the motorway these days, they've limited it to 80, something around that.
You know, I wanted to mention, you said something about the official vehicles driving. And I saw someone talking about, you know, they have these numbers on the car that in case of reckless driving. You know, sometimes when you call, it's the person who's driving.
Wow.
So it's like you've seen the car driving, you're upset, you've called, and you say, me, I'm the one driving.
I actually did that. So I was driving somewhere and there was this vehicle which is like a company. I think a company that sells fruits or something. It was a van. And the guy crossed me so badly. I mean, he crossed me so bad and he didn't even bother to stop. So I just followed and took the number. I called, the lady picked, and I spoke, and she thanked me. Because the guy was driving, and I said, this vehicle, this driver, what he did, and I mentioned the time and the place. I don't know what they did to the guy, but at least the woman picked and thanked me. So hopefully, maybe she will do something with it.
No, sometimes the person who calls is the person. So it's like your
But
anger is.
But what's the sense in putting the phone number, the driver's phone number?
Do I know?
I think it's a very important thing. So companies should take responsibility for the official vehicles, the way they drive. I don't know whether there should be more CCTV cameras.
As for the CCTV
Media needs to do more education on defensive driving, you know, because Sky, a lot of people who can move a vehicle don't know how to drive.
Exactly.
And moving a vehicle is not the same as knowing how to drive.
Yeah, and you know, so the other day there was this guy that I asked to, you know, wash my vehicle for me, right?
Don't tell me you want to sit in the car.
So,
we've had an
he
incident
went to
like
sit
that.
in the car and move the car, right? The way I blasted him.
I hope you didn't crash it.
No, you didn't. I blasted him and I told him that was the last time because I have a prior experience here at Citi FM. So I gave, you know, and
he crashed the car.
But this thing has even happened since I started working here. Someone bought a car. I won't mention names. They bought their car brand new. Someone too wanted to say, "Oh, let me wash the car." So he said, "Okay, go and wash the car." The person decides to take the car, collects fans.
It always
in the neighbor,
bad.
and
Always.
by the time we knew, the car was in the wall.
Look,
but I won't mention it. But you know, if you know, you know.
Brother, that was my very first car. Alari just drove the car into our studio. Now I had to write a memo explaining why that happened.
Yeah, but how did you give him the key?
So you see, so
He's
what I learned.
He's washing the car. He has opened the car.
So what I learned from that, is that when you hand your car to someone to wash for you, always retain the key. Even if you take it to a car washing bay, retain the key. It is only in very extreme circumstances. So you are not. So for instance, this guy I'm talking about, I gave him the key to go and take something out of the car
Decided
and
to
bring it.
take his liberties.
So he went to bring it. Then I said the car should be washed, right? In the process, I forgot to retain the key. And so the security was out. Charlie, what's happening? So it is a hard lesson to learn because, look, we used to own a garage back in the village and
So you
we
know about
repair
this
things here. So, people who have not even, they want to use someone's vehicle to learn how.
The mechanic.
Before you know it, but not far away, just behind us. Family.
Yeah. A mechanic in this area, this is like 2009, 2008, took a vehicle and killed a schoolgirl.
Yeah. Wow.
I know the parents. And when they asked, he said he was just testing the car. The girl was in like class 5. He killed her. And we know the girl, we know the family. This is
No
just
license,
The
nothing.
guy took the car from his master and said he was doing a round. He was testing the car. That's how come he ended the girl's life. So anyway, so it's a call.
You asked about defensive driver. Let me just read something.
No, before you do that, let me defend my position. Otherwise, I will have the memo. So there's a big event on Thursday by Ashesi. It's Ghana's Democracy Only Speaks English. A very interesting topic for a lecture. The Center for Popular Culture at Ashesi invites you for a public lecture on this topic Thursday, 3rd April, 4:30 p.m. British Council, to be delivered by Ashesi Emeritus Professor Kwesi Yanka. Now, this lecture explores ideas for a multilingual democracy and how language shapes leadership and inclusion in Ghana. Sky, you should be there. That's why every day you speak, you are free. You don't want to be. Now, before I bring you First Bank, let me give you 2 more announcements. If you're looking for a delicious snack for both kids and adults, try Bell Moo flavored drink. It comes in chocolate and sweet strawberry flavors, perfect for any time of the day, for your lunch boxes, after school snacks, or quick pick-me-ups. You may call 0544-335-900 or 0544-335-800. Bell Moo, it's mooliciously delicious. Another quality product from Belacqua. And the future of energy is now solar. Translight have a new system where you can own a reliable solar system at home, starting from 49,000 cedis, pay 30% upfront, and spread the rest over a 12 to 24 month period. So you can pay as low as 1,650 every month. Call 0504-249229 or visit translightsolar.com for more information. Now, First Bank is proud to be associated with tech and social media trends, sending money to Nigeria, Gambia, Liberia, Sierra Leone, Guinea, Kenya, Djibouti, or Zambia, even Zimbabwe, has been made much more convenient using the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System, the PAPS. Visit any branch of First Bank Ghana or call 059-692-1921. First Bank, you first. So has the trends for us this morning?
Yes, good morning. And of course, the first one is Eid Mubarak. So our Muslim brothers and sisters are celebrating their Eid day 2, of course. As you know, now we have 2 days thanks to President Mahama. So we have to say thank you because we're enjoying our holidays, of course. I know we are at work, but at least there's still less cars on the road, so you can see people are enjoying. Happy New Month and April Fool's Day are also trending. Very important. It's the 1st of April. You know how it is. Everyone is making jokes. You'll be seeing things that may not be true on social media. So I urge you to be cautious because a lot of social media accounts do post things which are not true as jokes. They are not trying to misinform you or lead you astray, but they are making a joke.
So basically, a day of legitimate misinformation.
Yes.
No, I would disagree with that. It's
So
not
please,
April
so
Fool is not defense for defaming somebody. Or
No, we're not talking about defamation.
A provocation.
It's more like
well, people say things that may not necessarily be true. So please be aware that today is April Fool's Day. So just keep that in mind when you are using the internet.
All right.
Yes, please. The vice president is also trending. I think her recent health scare and the subsequent letter that was released that she'll be seeking treatment abroad. So people are wishing her well and hoping the best for her health and that kind of stuff. So we just want to wish the vice president a speedy recovery as well from the Citi Breakfast Show.
Yes,
of course.
Yeah, may she come back stronger.
Yes.
Amen.
Today is the birthday of Apioko.
Oh, really?
Apioko Sarah Machon.
Big woman.
Oh, okay. So it should be trending.
She has to trend.
Apiox.
Apioko, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
And then the last one is DVLA. So the DVLA, the man in charge did an explosive interview where he mentioned a lot of things. He spoke about a contract that they don't know who is being paid to, different things. But the main, the main thing that's trending.
Amaliba is not in charge.
How to find his name? Julius Nikwe Kote.
Okay.
Yes, he's the CEO of the DVLA. But I think the thing that really hit the trends was he said that the Goro boys will soon be registered and their activities regularized by the DVLA.
In what sense?
Well, that's exactly why it was trending, because people are wondering how you can regularize and regulate
these are folks
Goro
who are,
boys.
to a large extent, short-circuiting the system and making the system inefficient. The way to deal with them is to remove them entirely and ensure that this whole idea of going, paperless, doing your things online, getting appointments, you go in there, you get your certification done, and you get your test done, or you collect your license. That is how we do it. In other jurisdictions, you don't put intermediaries or Goro boys or whatever it is who end up fleecing people, collecting their money, and in some cases, don't delivering the service.
He's going to do what?
So they said that they will regularize the activity of Guru boys. So I think it
regularization means what?
That's what I was
Well,
asking.
that's what we are saying, that this was said in the interview, and I think it's generated a lot of controversy because people are like, these people are there to circumnavigate the system, like Sky said.
So how regularize their irregularity?
Yeah, because once you give them legitimacy, then they are no longer.
I think
maybe you employ them.
I think
as what?
As intermediaries.
I think this is one of the problems that we have.
Or support service providers.
Maybe 24-hour service. 24-hour.
I have to say, I think this is one of the
It's also
things
part
I've
of it.
noticed a lot with what's the word I'm looking for? Politicians and people, duty bearers, that's a good word, is that because of all the inefficiency, when they come, they look at the mess and think to themselves, how can we fix the mess? And part of their way of fixing the mess is to
legitimize
the mess. So I can understand, the thought process that, look, this thing is so unwieldy that if we bring these people in,
maybe we should call him
in
and ask him what he means by that. Because if, for example, he said we will train them to offer a service at a different stage. So maybe, for example, people are confused about filling a form. So you can have a service where you come in and we help you fill the form at a fee. It's different. There are ways you can do it. Because, for example, if you go to places where you have to apply for some educational service, somebody can do educational consultancy. You come in, he helps you because the process is difficult. You get it? Now, maybe if that's what they want to do, fine. A company that's legitimate. But these Goro boys basically just stand there, and because of the inefficiency in the system, you pay them money at the premises.
Yeah.
And then they create a certain economy around.
Because all they do
they are
is
working with the people who are there, who are working there, who know that, okay, we are going to get 10 applications a day. I'll take the first 8 from these people who have paid, and the 2 who are trying to come legitimately.
So I actually think we need to get him to explain what he means by legitimizing them.
Yeah.
If he means putting them in through some training and letting them do something legitimate.
Yeah, but there are lots of things from the interview. I think another one that was very worrying was that he claimed that there's a $160 million contract owed to a company by the DVLA, and no one knows what this company is responsible for. But the DVLA owes them money. This is what he.
How can that be?
Who is this guy?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. He said in the interview,
This is the DVLA boss.
Yes, the DVLA CEO.
And he's saying
Mr.
that
Kote.
there's a $160 million contract, or there's $160 million payment they are making, or they are supposed to make.
Yes, and he's not sure which company it is. So this is all the things. So these are like the comments on social media.
I think we should get them, man.
Yeah, that's right. But you see, there's a caution that I want to throw out there. You see, when you are put into a new office, people should take the time to audit their own systems and be sure of what was done and what was not done before jumping and then talking. I'm not directly speaking to his comments.
He's been there for almost 3 months. So you should know.
Yeah, no, but 3 months is not enough in many cases.
But $160 million is a lot of money.
It is.
If you are paying $160 million to somebody, you should definitely know what they are doing.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you don't know why they are doing, you should stop the payment.
And no government office would send $160 million.
What we are saying is that it's Ghana money.
Yes.
If the CEO of the organization says he doesn't know what work the people are doing, you shouldn't pay the money.
I understand you, but you see, to say that you don't know,
if he doesn't know, what should he say?
How can
if you take over my job and you realize I've been making some payments with people and you don't know the meaning, and I haven't given you handing over notes, what will you do?
Hold on first.
when I take over your responsibility,
and you realize that
and
every
come,
month I siphon half of my salary to Kalekuda.
Okay, so Kalekuda is.
And Kaleb travel.
You find him.
So you interview before you meet Caleb and you say.
So you don't
Bernard
even
is paying 40 million to Caleb every week.
So Bernard, so you don't even disclose that. You are not under any obligation to disclose
but
that.
the interviewer is asking you a question.
No, it's not every interview question that you must answer as a guest appearing on the show.
Why are you assuming that he doesn't know what he's talking about?
No, the report is suggesting that they say we are paying people, we don't know what they are doing.
You know, he said we don't know if he's continuing the payment.
No, you see, that is not the question.
But somebody just told you that he has found missing containers. It was only after the new person came that he found it. So there are some things that can be going on. You don't know.
No. See, they are not saying that they do. He's not saying that. What do you call it? They know, but they don't want to pay.
He said he doesn't know what the payment is for.
Yes.
So what should he say?
Bernard, you see, when you take over an institution, there will be paper trail of what would have been done and what would not have been done. They are talking about contract. You don't sign contract.
Haven't you heard of things being shredded before putting?
No, Bernard. When you sign a contract, when you talk about contract must be signed with somebody. Who is the person? Identify the person.
The guy
ask the person questions.
Supposed to pay somebody for something. He doesn't know what the people are doing. I will be worried if he continues the payment. I will say don't pay anything until you get to the bottom of the matter.
So fine, Caleb.
If you take over an institution and there's a payment for something you are not aware of, if it's not your handing over notes and not being well briefed, don't pay.
So you look
because you have to protect the public purse.
But if you don't pay, maybe you are also risking a judgment there too.
Spend time. That 1 month will not end the world. Spend that 1 month to find out what is.
Yeah, before you
talk to your lawyers.
Because many of these stories, right? 10 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks from now.
Yeah.
It goes dead. Nobody knows what happens to it. It creates just some mess in the public atmosphere.
It also means that we didn't follow up. So they also went to form the same cahoots with the bad people. So maybe they are paying for something wrong. And then when we don't talk about it, then they'll have a
mind you, you also said that the DVLA has a 300 million Ghana Cedi debt.
Look at that.
That is wondering why the DVLA owes money.
Yeah, why should you owe 300 million cedis?
You look into it. Don't just come and tell us that you don't know why.
But basically,
try and establish why.
But he's in a public office,
so
he has to keep us updated.
That is maybe what he's come to say is that they've left him. You know, Sky. Let's look at the other side.
Tell us that he has payment for something.
No, Sky. Let's look at the other side.
We deserve to know.
No, Bernard, we deserve to know. Can I say something?
Demand rigor. Okay, let me give you.
So beyond the information, so what you're saying is that don't just do propaganda.
Yes.
Announce what you are announcing, but do the work.
But he's also giving the other side. He's giving the other side.
In the US.
No, Sky, let me say something. Sky, let me say something. He's also giving the other side that I have come. This is what I have met, and I don't like. He also has to give us so that this is what the task ahead of us. I think that's also. Is he not allowed to say that?
You see, because look, no, you can. I can challenge you on this.
That what?
Every change in government, new officials always come and throw all kinds of things
all of them
into
who have
the
done
public.
this? How many stories like this have you heard? It's only the DVLA who's saying this. Apart from the meters and the DVLA.
No,
how many people have said something like this?
You hear others. I am saying that we need much more rigor than just officials coming to tell you, I don't know about this or I don't know about that.
We
right?
need more rigor.
Before you step out to say that, you must be standing on something. That Kofi Mensah and Co Limited was awarded this contract. There's no evidence in the records to show that they executed that contract. Yet they are billing the government of Ghana A, B, C, and D.
But that's not. But you see, you are saying something he didn't say. He said he doesn't know what they do. He didn't say that they haven't done what they are meant to. He said he doesn't know.
But how can you sign a contract?
The interview, right?
You are worrying us.
There's some quotes from the interview. Yes. So he says DVLA saddled with dirty debts, Chief Executive Officer.
Good.
So here's a quote. He spoke on Class FM. He says, I don't want to slander my predecessor, but the only thing he left me is debt. According to Cote, the DVLA's dollar account has an outstanding debt of approximately $150 million, while the Citi account holds a debt of about 300 million Ghana cedis. He attributed the financial challenges to prior commitments made by the former CEO, which the authority currently lacks funds to settle. One of the most pressing issues resulting from the debt is the lack of license printing for nearly a year and a half, as suppliers have not been paid. However, Cote offered a glimmer of hope, announcing that he has successfully negotiated with the suppliers to resume supplies so that the printing of licenses can begin next week.
So 1 year
it doesn't address the key issue that prompted
this is the amount that's missing. It says 150 million US dollars approximately, an outstanding debt, and then 300 million. Yes, but the amount that he says that there's a contract, there's a debt owed, and they don't know who they owe.
No, they're saying that they don't know why.
It's owed
they
to
owe
a company. He does. Let me find
what?
the exact thing.
Just
You are-
get the interview and play it on there. Just get the full interview or call the man. Let's ask him.
The caution is necessary.
Fred Javano, maybe you should call the man because this matter.
So let me just do a little bit of tech news. So, if you remember, there was I don't know if this was something that people are aware of, but I will just go through it. So, confidential war plans were leaked on Signal to a journalist by mistake by the U.S. government.
Yes, we know
So
that.
the story is that, for those who don't know, there's a messaging app called Signal. And the editor of The Atlantic, Jeffrey Goldberg, was added to a group chat. And he wasn't sure what this group chat was.
He said he actually thought it was a spoof account.
Yes, he thought that he thought that these were bad actors trying to feed him bad information, and he will go and rush to publish a story, and they will show him that he's not credible. So as he stayed in the group chat, it turns out that it was senior officials in the White House, including the Vice President and the Secretary of State, were planning an attack on Yemen.
Yemen Houthi rebels.
Yes. So all the attack plans were posted in the chat, and he had access to them. So when he realized that the attack plans were real and the chat was real, he left the chat because naturally he didn't want to be a source of a leak from the US government, espionage laws, etc., etc. So he left the chat and he contacted the White House to ask about it. And so there was a whole controversy about whether the chat was real, whether he should have stayed in the chat, what kind of information was put in the chat. Eventually, the whole chat log was published by The Atlantic. People read it and
Because
saw
people were claiming that he was lying.
He was lying. So now the White House has said that they've done their investigations and the matter is closed. So we don't need to think anymore about this group chat issue.
But
and
has somebody
everything.
admitted the error?
Well, I think
Because the person who put him in the group made the mistake.
I believe so. I believe Mike Waltz admitted the error. If
I
I
hear it was subject of a hearing.
Yes, of course, it will go in before the intelligence committee and that kind of
And
stuff.
some journalists are saying you should have stayed throughout and not left. But I think, having heard that conversation for a few minutes, you realize that this is not the kind of information I
No,
should be hearing.
and you see, he waited until the attack actually happened because he said that he was in the chat. When they said they were going to attack Yemen and they dropped like the timeline, he said that, okay, if this is the timeline, let me go and wait. In 2 hours, I will know whether this chat is real. So in 2 hours, when the bomb started hitting Yemen, he knew that, and he left. And I think the reason he left was, I know people are saying you should have stayed to get more information, but I think American espionage laws are very strict. And he didn't want to get in trouble.
I actually think he did the right thing. But I'm surprised they were even attacking him. You know, Charlie, this our word has got him.
So like I said, the whole chat, and obviously a lot of politicians in the House of Representatives have been very unhappy because per the intelligence guidelines, you are not allowed to do real proper intelligence work on a mobile device.
Yes.
You're supposed to either do it in your office or in your home. Or in certain cases, maybe in a hotel room with a specialized computer meant for that purpose, because your phone can get lost at any time, it can be hacked, etc., etc.
And this is high-level security meeting.
Exactly.
And who owns Signal, by the way?
I'm not 100% sure.
It's bizarre, honestly. And
But
this is like the USO.
Yeah.
Where somebody used the
There's a lot
personal
of them.
server for emails and the person was branded a liar.
And this is exactly why it's become so controversial, because Hillary Clinton was flogged for basically doing the same thing.
Yeah,
And
because
now
Signal is not that secure. I mean, fine, it's securer than some of the other.
it's probably the most secure messaging app for
But
sure.
for
But
national security-
exactly, there's certain information that's not supposed to be on those servers. So it's become a very controversial issue. But the White House seems to have
I feel
just
like the resetting is actually happening in Trump. The real reset is not even.
Let me just mention that as we were talking about vehicles, I'm reading this from the South China Morning Post. Flying taxis prepare to lift off. Flying taxis.
Flying taxis.
Yes, to prepare to lift off in China as first companies gain key license.
Give me the details.
So Chinese regulators have for the first time granted companies approval to operate autonomous passenger drones. So drones that we use for photographs, to do land survey, and all of these things. Now they'll be carrying human beings around, moving from one point to the other. Now China has taken a major step towards creating a commercial flying taxi industry after regulators granted the country's first ever approval for 2 companies to operate autonomous
So
passenger
this will
drones.
lift off like a drone.
Yes.
And so basically, plane without runway.
Exactly.
And it will go quietly.
Yes, yeah. So, for instance, maybe you want to fly from, Jamestown to Tema. Or
And we to realize this is Okada.
This is the City Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
You're looking for a bank to rely on. Let me give you a shoulder to lie on. Would we say to bank be no lie? Only one place where I get my eye on. Make I introduce you all to First Bank, the best services in the world, first rank. Customer service, everything is well planned. I make music, I travel, I sell land. They be my reserve tank. Cause every time I know my money's safe. Universal banking ain't in me here on the date. I'm a busy person, me no need time to wait. Now you to Spain, even when I'm in the States. My me blue shirt. They tell me office a chilly, but who cares? Cause I bank with the best. I'm lucky, I'm too blessed. When it comes to First Bank, it's too west. Everything is you first.
Nobody feed you, I'm like us. Do I'm like us. First Bank, we treat you first. Treat you first. Somebody see yeah. Think about you first. Think about you first.
You first. First Bank.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
Ago. Amen. We are gathered here to discuss the funeral plans of Fifi. As we have always done, the children will take the caskets, siblings take the catering, while nieces and nephews will take the...
Wafa, may I please speak?
Go ahead, Aaron.
I signed Daddy up on a family care funeral trust prepaid plan. They will be providing us with everything we need, from caskets, hearse, canopies and decorations, among many others. Yes, they will provide food and drinks as well.
That's such a relief. Don't let you or your loved one's funeral become another emergency family meeting. Plan ahead. Call or WhatsApp us on 026 2626 181 or visit our website at familycaretrust.com. Family Care, today's wisdom, tomorrow's peace of mind. Underwritten by Metropolitan Life Insurance Ghana Limited. TNC's apply.
Football's magic never fades, even from the couch. The sound of halftime banter replays at the touch of a button. Cheering with my chosen crew. Pure game magic. It's like I'm there, but with a better view from the comfort of my home. Priceless. From the March 3rd to April 30th, pay with your MasterCard, online or in-store, and stand a chance to win a unique priceless viewing experience of the UEFA Champions League final for you and your friends. MasterCard, proud supporter of non-stop fans. T's and C's apply.
Join the conversation on the City Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/City97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/City973, and Instagram at instagram.com/City973 with the hashtag CityCBS.
The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
All right, now 8:23. Have you heard the good news? SG Ghana has given away lots of amazing prizes, including a brand new luxurious Toyota RAV4 Adventure in the SG Ghana Deposit and Drive promo. Deposit 500 CDs or multiples of it into your SG account and you can win big. It's from now till 30th May. Prizes include trips to Singapore and Dubai, home appliances, or the ultimate prize of a brand new Toyota RAV4 from Toyota Ghana Company Limited. For more information, visit your nearest branch or call 0302-214-314. Terms and conditions apply. Societe Generale. The future is you. Venom Mineral Water has taken a bold step by removing its seals from the cap towards environmental sustainability to reduce plastic waste. We've modified the design of our 500 and 750 ml and our 1.5 liter bottles by removing the cap seal, helping to minimize pollution and protecting the planet. But that's not all. Venom bottles are made from BPA-free, eco-friendly plastic ensuring your health and safety while delivering the same refreshing hydration. Choose Verna and refresh with a purpose. Don't just watch, feel every moment of passion like a true football fan. From conducting every pass, analyzing every play, and celebrating every goal like it's your own, that's passion felt, lived, and shared. That's priceless. When you pay with MasterCard from now till 30th April, you can win an all-expense paid 3-day viewing experience of the UEFA Champions League final for you and your friends at the Aqua Safari Resort. For more information, go to priceless.com/UEFA Africa. Attention all cyber security professionals, board executives, CISOs, CIOs, and CTOs. Sapient and Vision, a proud subsidiary of Innovari Limited, invite you to CISO Summit 2025, the ultimate gathering for cybersecurity professionals. Now, it's on the 9th and 10th of April, Labadi Beach Hotel, Accra. This year's theme is Proven Strategies for Global Cyber Executives, maximizing organizational security and efficiency. Don't miss out on this chance to gain valuable insights, explore the latest cybersecurity trends, and network with top experts from around the world. Now, registration is only 5,000 cedis for this 2-day all-inclusive program. So if you want to register or to partner or to exhibit, you may go to the CISOsummit.com, that's CISO Summit.com, or call 057-276-0472. That's 057-276-0472 to secure your spot today. And your living room deserves class, warmth, and a memory for your family and friends. That's why Ashfoam produces a master class range of sofas and couches to fit every corner and space in your living room or balcony. For more information, visit our showrooms in all the big malls and other locations near you for high quality, affordable, durable Ashfoam sofas and others. You may also reach us on 0243 200 729. Be an Ashfoam now. So luckily, so is it a CEO or DG? I want to be sure what the position is. CEO. All right. Julius Nikwekote is the CEO of the Driver Vehicle and Licensing Authority, and he's joined us to bring clarity to the interview he gave on Class FM. I'm told that trends have been quite interesting and controversial as well. Mr. Kote, good morning. Back at the Salah to you.
Good morning. Thank you, my brother. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. How long have you been in office?
I was appointed on the 3rd of January 2025. So
I see. And how has it been so far?
So far, so good.
Wonderful. So I think the interview you granted Class FM is trending, and there are quite a number of issues that have come up. So let me take the ones that I've heard for you to clarify. You are said to have made a statement about Goro Boys, and that's generating some controversy. What did you actually say about Goro Boys? And is it true that you said you wanted to legitimize their operations?
Okay, so let me say a very good morning to all listeners. And what happened is that I made a point that under His Excellency former President Rawlings, we fought Goro Boys. Under President Kufuor, we did same. Under President Mills, we did same. Under President Mama first coming, we did same. Then I was even doing my national service, and I was very much involved in the fighting against Goro Boys. We will go to the police station, get the police, come and arrest them. The next day you see them, they are around. Because there's no concrete evidence of them have engaged in any criminal activity over there. And under President Akufo-Addo, we did same. And then I asked them, so are we going to continue doing the same thing and expect different results? I asked them, I am a social democrat, so I am not going to fight Goro Boys in the way it's been done for the past years. What is the difference between the Goro Boys and the Ultra Center? The Ultra Center of DVLA is private owned, and they also engage in services of DVLA, and then put extra 100 cedis charge on it. That extra 100 cedis charge, they give DVLA 20 cedis, and the Ultra Center, the owner keeps 80 cedis. So as the what the difference between the Guru Boy and what the Ultra Center is doing? When you go to Tamahabo, they were once Guru Boy, today they are agents. When you go to Ghana Airport, they were once Guru Boy, today they are agents. Are we going to put all these boys back on the streets? Then what happens? Why don't we regularize what they do? Because for the past years we've been fighting them, and the story is the same. Why don't you bring them on board? I'm not saying I'm going to employ all of them. Bring them on board. Make sure we regularize what they do. So, Mr. A, we have all charges of DVLA. You are not going to charge above this when you help someone to execute his job. That is exactly what the Ultra Center is doing. We can't just always use language, words, to separate the rich from the poor, make the rich extremely rich and make the poor extremely poor. I am not going to continue with that trend.
So
that is the proposal
I see.
brought
So
forward.
I think the reason it's generating controversy is that there's no clarity on how you are going to do it, because the Ultra Center is run by or is licensed by the DVLA. So it's whatever they do there, you know.
What
But
the
is
Ultra Center does,
yes,
we know.
Good.
You're right. But they also put extra charges on their activities.
But there are people who work there are professionals who are trained and they work with a certain standard. The problem is that Goro boys may not necessarily have that skill or education.
Guru boys are not coming to work for DVLA. They are not working for DVLA. About 3,000, 4,000 boys back on the streets. They are not going to work for DVLA.
Which is why the question is, so how are they going to do that?
So,
How are they going to provide that service?
Bernard, you arrest them today. Tomorrow they are out because they've not done anything illegal. They've not done any fake work for you to have that evidence that Mr. A did this kind of work, hence must prosecute him or her. So we are saying they are always on our premises. Regularize their charges. Let them know, because the Ultra Center is charging this amount, you cannot put more than this amount of money on any activity you do. Because some of them charge in excess. And it comes back to me that your boys are charging excess. No, but they are not staff of DVLA. And they are still not going to be staff.
But what specific service will
what they do?
What specific service will a Goro boy provide that DVLA cannot provide directly?
That is the problem. You see, we don't understand the modus operandi of the DVLA. It is not just about going there to register a car. And the issue has to do with the fact that they've been there for long and they help people to do their work. They don't help DVLA to do its work, but they help people to do their work.
Because if the service you were providing was clear and transparent, there will be no need for a Goro boy. So, for example, if I have to go and change my, get a new license, and the procedure is clear, I don't need any Goro boy. Indeed, if you go to visa centers, there are people who stand around, say they want to help you, but then they'll tell you that you don't. I'm coming. If you go to a visa center, in the past, you will meet people around who say, "Oh, bring your forms, I'll help you." A lot of these embassies announced that, please enter the embassy before you give your document to anybody. That sort of wipes away the need for such things. So my point is, shouldn't the DVLA be more concerned about making these processes transparent and simple, rather than thinking of giving Guru boys sustenance? Because that's not really your job. Your job is to make sure that when I come as a customer, the process is clear and simple and devoid of confusion, so that there's no need for a Guru boy in the first place.
Thank you. But when you go to Tamabo, can't you transact business without agents over there? On our form, when you are going to fill a form, on DVLA's form, which has been there for years, check on the form A. We have what we call agents over there. What is the essence of that? Why was that done? We have agents over there. Check on the form. On the form A, check on it. We have agents over there. Name of agents. It's part of the form. So they invited this menace which has been with us for a very long time. It is part of the form which was sent to Parliament for us to agree on.
Okay.
Check on the form A. We have agents over there. Who are those agents?
Then maybe the way, you see, a clearing agent, in my view, clearing a car or a good is a bit more complicated than registering at the DVLA for a license or getting a roadworthy certificate. So that's one. But if you want to do it that way, then the clearing, because clearing agents, they are together, they have a system of working, they have an association, they are well structured. They are trained as well. So maybe if you're going to move this to that level, then it means that these agents have to then go through the same process, so that they become a recognized agency that I can either choose to use or go on my own. Because even though they are clearing agents, I can still clear my car on my own if I don't want to use a clearing agent.
But so now we are all on the same line.
We are close, not the same, but we are getting closer.
We are all on the same line, because I'm not saying that I'm saying that we are going to regularize what they do. It means that we are going to train them. They will have training. Will be able to do away with what they do, and we don't agree with them. They're going to be a clear cut of operational points, what they must do and what they cannot do. Just like the way the agents also operate at the port. Because we have already invited them by putting allotting space for agents on our forms.
But fair enough, but you see, the only difference is that for some of the things I do at DVLA, the person is needed. So, for example, again, I'm importing a Toyota Yaris. I don't need to go to the harbor. Sky can clear for me if it's a clearing agent. But if I'm coming for roadworthiness certificate or I'm coming for a license renewal, I am needed. I have to do my eye test. I have to do my. So my point is that the role of Goro boys in your system. Let me finish, please. Some of the things Goro boys help people do, there's no need for them. If, for example, a Goro boy can take my vehicle and take it to the DVLA for the car to be tested objectively, I have no problem with that. But people use Goro boys even in the process of acquiring a driver's license, which should not be the case, because a license you are going to acquire, you are needed in person there. So why should a Goro boy be helping you in that situation?
So, Bernard, like you said, there are some services they can never be part of. Like, you want to acquire a license. Your biometric details will surely be taken. So there's no need for that. That is why it is only on our Form A, which is used for vehicle registration. The vehicle registration goes with only the Form A. There is no Form A when it comes to license renewal or acquisition of license or license update. So when it comes to vehicle registration, you first have to go to the private garage, the PVT, that's the private vehicle testing stations, to do your rounds over there, to do the testing over there, before you come and you go to customs. For customs to officially release the car. When customs release the car at our point, that is when you are eligible to go and register the car. And this takes some process. You understand? So for vehicle registration, when someone comes in to help you, then we need to recognize who is helping you. That is why there is a space for agents on the Form A.
Okay.
So it is not all services that Goro Boy will be needed.
Good.
If I want to acquire a license, Goro Boy simply cannot use his bio data for me. I need to be there myself.
To be fair, it sounds like an interesting idea in relation to the vehicle licensing, and I'll be hoping to hear more details of how you proceed to go about the training, the selection, and the regularizing. So that makes sense. Now let's come to the second point in the interview that's generating controversy. It is said that you said that there was a certain, there are dirty deals or dirty debts. Let me put it this way.
I never used the word dirty in
okay. So the story that was written said DVLA saddled with, quote, dirty debts, Chief Executive Officer. So what were you really saying?
I never used the word dirty. Let me dissociate myself from the word dirty. I never use the word dirty. That's not my line of communication. So the roadworthy certificates we issue, there is a contract which is in two folds. The roadworthy certificate itself, the physical certificate itself, which we issue, is okay. That one we issue. We see the what do you call it? The security features on the paper document that is always placed in front of the windscreen. That is okay. But there is another contract again, which is the system, the hardware, the software, and the rest. I mean, I still don't understand what it is. And we are supposed to pay $51.8 million annually on it, which was signed in 2023. And that is what I told my sector minister. We don't understand. And they are telling us you have to go to Ministry of Finance for them to make some amount of payment. We ask anybody from finance, they don't seem to understand what it is. And that,
so have you seen the contract?
that,
Have you seen the contract that?
we've seen it, that was signed in 2023, and they themselves didn't pay $1 and expect us to pay as of today. If this, because we are in April, because we started using the system already, it means that we've committed ourselves in this year as well. So this year we have to add another extra $51.8 million to the amount.
So let me get you straight. You're saying that your
$51.8 million for times 3.
Let me get that. Let me get this straight. You're saying that your predecessor in 2023 entered an agreement, some sort of software agreement or licensing sort of agreement with some company, which enjoins you to pay $51 million to a company per annum annually,
Yes.
and that, to your knowledge, that payment was not even made by your predecessor until they left.
No, not even a single dollar payment was made.
But has your legal team reviewed the contract to point out if the contract is valid or not?
We are giving it to them. This issue came out not first for me, because when we went to the budget census, there are some things you need to justify, and it's like even at that place, at that level, no Ministry of Finance is not able to say anything to us concerning this debt. And per agreement, they are supposed to take chunk of the amount, make that payment, and they are not even willing to. And the one who undertook the contract is always on my neck for payment. And I told the master, relax, let's go through what it is. Let me.
So this is a Ghanaian company that asking you to make the payment.
It's a Ghanaian company. Just I cannot put the name of the company.
Was there information in the handing over notes you received from your predecessor about this software or this thing this service they are providing? Are you clear on what they are doing for us?
No, not really. When it comes to that particular one,
has your
because Bernard, when you look at the entire contract, it's in 2 folds. One is the supply of the physical sticker, roadworthy sticker, which we are okay with. But the software in printing the sticker, the hardware used in printing the sticker, that is what is accumulating to this $51.8 million annually.
Which means that the system that generates the sticker has to be paid for.
That is
and that has been put on your books.
That is it.
But then whatever covers that will be in the contract. So maybe the DVLA agree to that, the terms.
Yes. We are putting the cart in front of the horse. Very soon there will be an elaborative session with the media to explain everything, give them every issue, say it as it is. I think the Minister, Honorable Nikwe, has also called for the cultural document. I have supplied it to him, and there will be advice for what action to be taken.
But as you speak, you haven't made any payment.
Like I heard you.
No, I know. You haven't made any payment. All right.
Like I heard you saying that some people come and say this and that's the end. I am not going to do that. I'll make sure what the truth is comes out. President Mama has given us his backing, which is about the truth. Let the public know. Nobody's going to hide anything from the public.
So just to be clear, fair enough.
It's a government institution.
I will even allow you to. I will even allow you to let it slide. We'll follow you every day. You know we like DVLA matter. Two questions. So by the way, is it only 50? Yeah, is it only $51 million or there's another? Because there was also a Citi amount of $300 million.
There's a Citi amount of $300 million, which we are also. We are also supposed to pay. We are supposed to pay. Sorry, we are supposed to make payments of. And you spoke about the driver, the license cards. Okay, so getting into office, I realized for about 1.5 years back, the cards were not being printed. So I called the contractor to ask what the issue is. It's just because of we were owing her so much that she said she's not going to supply us anymore until we make payments. So I had to go down my knees to beg her to supply the products, and that I'm committed to pay. So as for the debts, when it comes to CD, a lot, Bernard.
Have you spoken to Mr. Ajimambuzia, who is your predecessor?
No, I've not spoken to him. I've not had access.
But call him and meet him and discuss it with him. Let him explain to you, because it was under his tenure, right? I'm sure he's still in the country.
The directors are still there. We've not taken anyone out. I have not sacked any director. They are still
So
there.
the directors who are responsible for this are there.
Yes, they are still there.
And yet
So
the explanations have not made sense to you enough for you to pay. It means that you have to go higher.
What they tell you when it comes to the is that they did more projects and DVLA wasn't having money to pay. More projects than they were supposed to embark on. The projects were too many, and that is what.
And will your IGF be enough for you to pay this?
When it comes to vehicle registration, we give 85% of our vehicle registration IGF to road fund. So I had a meeting through my minister with the Minister of Roads and explained this to him. And we promised to do that when it comes to the LI amendment. So we see what 85% goes to road fund for vehicle registration IGF. So you can just imagine what is happening at DVLA.
Wow. What about the money you get from driver license renewals and those things? Is it less than what you get from vehicle licensing?
We mostly make a lot of money from vehicle registration than licensing, because on day in, day out, the number of people that come for vehicle registration is more than licensing. License issues, the rates are very minimal. We don't really charge. So when I hear people say I was charged 2,000 for license, 3,000 for license, and then you dealt with someone who you're not supposed to deal with, come to our office and transact your own business when it's about licensing. Because licensing, you don't need anybody to do anything for you. Your biodata will be taken. So one of my key vision over there is to do away with this long queue over there. Use technology to do away with the long queues over there. And I think we'll be good to go when it comes to license issues.
There are many cars on our roads that don't deserve the stickers you put on them. They smoke. They are not in good condition. But we see them with roadworthy certificates. What are you going to put in place to prevent that?
So let me say this to you. We are supposed to supervise those who put the stickers on it. In 2012, a law was passed for us to release those service to the PVTS, that is the private vehicle testing stations. So they do the roadworthy when it comes to old cars in the system. They issue roadworthy to them. Before we came for the break, I had a meeting with them and told them they are going to be strict monitoring. When we see our compliance officers have now been equipped. Now currently we have about 50 compliance officers only in Greater Accra. Every office now has 10 compliance officers. They go to the streets on daily basis with the police. If you see such cars and they come and report to us, or through our investigation, we get to know that it is private station A or B, then the right sanctions will be applied to them. But that's what we can do for now.
Let me read two comments.
Because we don't issue the old cars in the system. We don't issue their roadworthy. It is the private vehicle testing stations that do, not DVLA. Under the supervision of DVLA.
All right, we'll have more time to talk. Let me read just two comments for you. Bernard, there's too much rot at DVLA. The new CEO should monitor the DV plate also. Yeah. Ben from Sakaman, do you agree? He says that the DV plate is abused. Do you agree to that?
I agree. But you see, people don't understand the DV plate concept. When you bring a car from the port, when you get a car from the port, we call it DP plate, drive from port, driven from port. You are given 14 days to register the car. Now, we are only supposed to issue DV plates to the garages, those who sell the car dealers. Because that one, we don't determine when they sell their cars. So you are a garage, you have 100 cars to sell, and we don't determine when you sell it. So when you are going to fix that car, you are going on test, you are supposed to use the DD plate. But someone not dealing with cars, the sale of cars, and you are not ready to register your car, then that one, there is no provision for you. You must register your car within 14 days. So people are abusing it. I agree with the texter. People are abusing it. They are now buying the plates from the car dealers to fix them on their cars. And that is wrong.
So what are you going to do about that?
I just got into office. I've involved the police, and there are so many fake ones. We've developed a system which we use to scan, and another short code which we use to test. So our compliance officers are on the streets. They bring people to us on daily basis, and we correct it for them.
All right, there's another one. Find out from your guests when driver's licenses will be printed. For a premium service, almost a year, and they will give you 3 months for you to go and come back. It's become very stressful. This is 2 people texting. So what's going on with the driver's licenses?
I agree. I can speak with you now. I've printed all licenses till date. It's left with the laminate. We have a security laminate we bring from Italy. That is the final component of the license we print. The laminates were in on Monday, last week Monday. 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, there's going to be a big announcement for everyone to go for his or her license. So I want to plead with each and everyone just to continue to be patient with us. It shouldn't be long. Within 2-3 weeks, we'll issue a release for everyone to go for his or her license. Well, we've printed everything up to date. Just left the laminates for us to finish fixing. And we did that on 24-hour basis. I had the service personnel 3 teams, and they were running shifts. And as I speak with you now, we printed 1.5 year backlog of license. We printed all up to date. The security laminates will be fixed on it, and a press will be released. A press release will be given for everyone to go for his or license.
So when will you be ready to meet us for full details of this 51 million thing that you are not able to explain?
When we finish working on it, I'll surely make it available. I'll make myself available as well.
Thank you for talking to us,
Thank you so much. God bless you.
Acting Julius Nikwekote of the DVLA. Time check 8:51. So I think you heard your point when you said people come and announce and they don't follow.
Yeah, so
you said you follow it well.
So you see what I was talking about.
Yeah.
So it was not like the people of Ghana don't have any idea what the company is or the other party to the contract is supposed to do. The contract was for, printing of what?
I think
stickers.
And also by procuring the system.
Exactly, the software and the hardware.
But the money is too much for the IGF.
So,
they don't have money to pay.
Well, so
and then it claims the priest has to didn't pay. So he started in with debt and now he doesn't want to pay.
So you see, maybe then I would maybe it's the reportage, because
the reportage was also, he even denied the word they used.
Because
the word that he said
so you see, so we should be fair to.
And by the way, the reportage was not from the media house that did the interview.
It's from
another website. You see, this is the other thing. So the interview was done on Class FM.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ghana Web monitored the interview and did a story, which then trended.
Mm-hmm.
You get it? So when you go on Class FM, you don't see this exact story there.
Okay.
So that is also suspicious, because usually when somebody does an interview, because the person knows the context for which the person was questioned, they're able to do a story. So you may be monitoring an interview and then do a story based on your understanding of the story, and it sort of leads to all kinds of problems.
And I have to add something as well about that, because remember, we do story cards. A lot of other media houses do story cards. You can't put
all
everything, so they'll pick part of it,
and
it can be misinterpreted depending on how it's put on the story card, because a lot of the reaction is from story cards.
Exactly.
Because people don't read stories as much now, so it's very often on social media that a story card will come. We owe this amount of money, or there's this contract, and maybe the way he said is like, oh, these people, I don't even know what they are doing. In the sense that he's not literally saying I don't know what they are doing, but he's saying that they are not getting value for money, or it doesn't make sense.
So you're right. So
sometimes
the story too did not help.
Yeah.
But there are two things. So on the before we come to the debt, on the Goro Boys thing, I don't know what you think, because he is trying to sort of link it to or relate it to the port and say they have clearing agents.
Look, I admire the fact that he previously worked there as a national service person, and at some point maybe did something else there. That experience is to be respected. But with the greatest respect to him, the impression he created suggested that Guru Boys, they don't engage in, bad things or criminality and all of that. No. If you actually have researched Guru Boys extensively, what they do, there are criminal elements involved. In some cases, bribery, compromising the system. They take, so let's assume Kwame is a Guru boy. When you go there, what he does is, okay, I can get your license done for you in 2 weeks. When ideally, that should take maybe 3 months. right? What that means is that he is overcharging you so that he can go and bribe a public official or a civil servant who is supposed to be working on your thing. So Bernard, you went there ahead of me. Ideally, your license should be printed much earlier than mine.
But because he has gone to Kwame,
exactly,
Kwame then has shut circuit the system, so create a delay for you.
Exactly. So then the system, it creates inefficiency.
Yeah.
They are bribing people. Our law says you shouldn't bribe anybody. The corruption, the clique that is created creates all kinds of problems. So if you are talking about, oh, we want to regularize what they do and all of that, I think we should step
when
back.
I pressed him, sort of the differentiation between the driver's license and then the vehicle registration was made. I am inclined to agree that for vehicle registration, if there's a service that a company can provide, so let's assume Citi, we have 10 cars. It's time for us to go and get road ready for our cars. A company which is supposedly run by a Goro boy previously can come in, take the fleet, go and do the thing for us at a fee. Do you understand me? And which is similar to clearing agents. I think I can relate with that.
Yeah, in that, and you don't need.
I can relate with that.
Yeah, you see,
but they shouldn't call them Goro boys. They can call them service providers within the vehicle registration space.
So you see, he created the impression as though you have 3,000 people, youth in this space. You don't want to release them back into the streets. So you want to absorb them, not necessarily within the DVLA system,
but in the chain.
In the chain.
Yeah.
And you see, you don't need 3,000 people on the streets doing that kind of thing. Nothing presently stops me from serving as a service provider, coming for Citi FM vehicles, collecting all the documents that matter, and taking them to the DVLA and acting exactly for those things.
So those people too are called Guru boys, but they are not. They are actually people who are helping.
No, you see, the
because
Guru boys.
It's a blanket term.
Yes.
So I can understand how. So this is what I would say. If there's a certain licensing regime for people who provide service for vehicle registration, do you understand? So you can say if you want to offer service to companies in vehicle registration, these are the requirements. These are the things we as DVLA want you to do. So that not any Tom, Dick and Harry cannot just come for your car and say they want to do it. So they can also pay tax. Okay. It's a better way of managing the system. But number two, I don't think we need them for driver's license or getting. Because to get a driver's license, as I pointed out to him, which he agreed, you, the human being, is required to come and take a test. You, the human being, has to actually do an eye test. So that one, there's no need for a middleman. Okay, so if they can differentiate it, I think it makes some sense. Because you are right. If you are going for a car from the port, you don't really want to go to the port. You don't have time. It's not a full-time job.
And
to
those people are properly trained for the purpose.
Which is what we ask them to do.
You need to understand what is FOB, what is...
It's a serious training. I mean...
Chapter party, all of these things.
Have you met Mr. Ivy's... what's the name of the man? Johnny Mante.
Johnny,
He's a full professional.
Yeah, that's right. You need proper, rigorous training to understand what to do and what not to do.
Yeah.
And these are...
And even they have
specialized
issues, they are having issues with the incomes thing, because sometimes when the thing doesn't work, it makes their work difficult. Like, it's a very technical process.
And in addition, Bernard, look, the DVLA introduced a novel idea of people coming for premium services, right? You go there, they give you tea, they add biscuit, and then, you do your thing within hours, in some cases within
the last time they didn't give me tea though.
Oh, then maybe they are backsliding.
No, actually there was tea. I think actually there was.
But they didn't add biscuit.
I think Sky is
No, I should have requested for it.
Sky, it looks like Sky is describing executive, because premium and executive.
No. I went there. I was going for. I needed to go for my license. What do you call it? Like when you have to. It's not renewal. Like there's It's like your driver's license. You have to take for a stamp, something like that. It was pretty cool. There was tea, but I mean, I didn't have to sit there. I just went to do it.
That's the point. I think if you don't know they provide tea, you will go and not have it. You have to request. That's where you get it. So I think that for a premium service, it should be made clear to you that it's part of your entitlements if you want. It shouldn't be on request.
So what I'm saying is that
the premium should be premium.
Yes, it should be. We should scale it up in a way. Right? If we have to replicate it across the regions, let's do that. So that people who are in a position to afford it, people who want their services delivered in good time, and they have the money to back it, they should be able to have that experience. As opposed to wanting to open the system up the way I understand him to be saying, although I understand the philosophy behind it. He says that he's a social democrat, blah, blah, blah. I understand that. But there should be guardrails in place for good reason. And that is why they have...
Good morning, Bernard. DVLA needs to focus on improving and digitalizing its services like Passport Office and other offices are trying to do. Is the Passport Office doing better now?
Well, they also have their issues.
This one...
the minister has said that they want to improve service delivery. They are studying the 24-hour economy with the shift system.
One day we should do... I think Citi is in a position to do this thing. We can compare DVLA license office, DVLA, passport office, bets and debts, and maybe NIA, and compare their service to see who is doing well. Because they are all public facing.
I want to say I did my passport 2018, 2019. I did everything online. Went through. You just have to bring, but you still have to bring some photocopies and stuff.
You have to do your biometrics there though.
I believe so, but but a lot of the initial stuff is done online. It's just that maybe they might want to see a copy of your documents there, but a lot
so
of
the
the
question
stuff
to
was
listen
online.
Which of these agencies is the best between NIA for your Ghana card, DVLA for your driver's license, passport office for your passport, and maybe NHIS for your... Which of them is the best?
The NIA have a fight to them. They made me wait 1 year for my Ghana card. So
were you in the country though?
Yeah. I know. I'll even tell you. So before I came to do my national service, I went to do my Ghana card. They said, "Oh, we don't have printing materials. It will be 2 weeks. 2 weeks turned into months.
Oh Lord!
And then by the time I needed, I was going to put it in some box in the regional headquarters. So I went there someday. And I said I want. They said, "Oh, it's in some box, but the person who can remove the box is not here, so they don't want to remove them." But to be fair, once they told me where it was, it's not like they lost. Sometimes
they were able to track it.
They were able to track it. They would tell me where it was.
Then that's not that bad.
Yeah, but it's
so
still it's a delay.
The question I have for the public is: you're asking me DVLA for license, NIA for Ghana card, passport office for passport. Who is the best? Which of them service would you think? Which of them is using digitalization and customer service most effectively, based on your experience here?
You see, the whole idea of digitization is to ensure that you can use a paperless system from start to finish. So as he was saying, you go on the interface, maybe the passport office's website, you Google, you get a link, and then you enter the system, you enter all the details required, right? And then you then submit. Payment has been done already. You take an appointment date, as in when you can go there and do what you have to do. Ideally, because the Ghana card system or the NIA system has your biometrics already, right? The only thing that would have been required, if it is even required at all, is your physical presence. So that we want to be sure that you are ABCD person applying for the service. Perhaps we can actually even eliminate that. If we rely on the robust structures at the NIA and then also Margins, Company Limited, because they provide that service. So then all the people at the Passport Service Office should be able to do is to be able to link the application to what is already in the system at DVL, because the systems are interoperable, they're speaking to each other. So you pull the person's record, you are able to match, okay, he submitted this passport photograph. Can it, you use a software or maybe a machine learning system to match the photographs together. You can also tell that, okay, the name, the date of birth identifies with what is already in the system. The address agrees. Once you can establish all of that and other requirements, maybe Bernard has to sign somewhere because he's a pastor, or Pastor Mauli has to sign somewhere, or maybe as a lawyer I have to endorse something. Once those things can be properly established, then the thing goes through. But what do we have? You submit the thing, they say you print it, you add some photocopies, then you bring it, you go there, plenty of people are there. It's too cumbersome.
You're saying that the inefficiency built in the system is what forces people to use the Goro boys.
Exactly.
So if they could make their systems more digitally friendly and stringent, they would not need these Goro boys for all of these things. Well, let's take some comments.
But
I'm trying to run
something Sky said. I'm convinced that a lot of our public institutions, their inefficiency is very intentional to encourage people to come their way. That it's like, I'll give an example. You hear these stories all the time. Go that they want to get a meter, or they have to sort something with
ECG.
to sort something with their water,
ECG now,
and then they'll tell you that They'll tell you that the wait list is long. You can't get a meter for 2 years.
In
Then,
fact, let me-
as you are leaving, someone will come and tell you that I'll
me-
give it to you in 1
Let me
week.
change the question.
Those type of things.
Which of these was easiest to acquire?
Okay.
1, ECG prepaid meter. 2, your passport. 3, your Ghana card. 4, your driver's license.
Birth cert too.
5, your birth cert. Which of these was easiest to acquire and or renew? So let the online people put a poll there. Which of the following was easiest to acquire and or renew?
Right.
Or you can make the question the negative question. Which of these is the,
Or the hardest?
Which of these is the most difficult to acquire or renew? Number 1, your meter, prepaid meter. Number 2,
Can I say
driver's
something?
license. Number 3, NIA card. Number 4, passport. Number 5, birth certificate. Put it online.
Can I
And
say?
then we'll test the results tomorrow.
I think the ECG meter is a very complicated one because of the inefficiencies in the. Look, we have too many meters, even hanging around the system.
But just
It's a whole
But the question
issue.
is a basic question that, except you see, a customer saving public institution should be able to make access to its facilities straightforward and simple. Whether it's a meter, a Ghana card, or whatever, basically you interact with the public, make the procedure standardized, let people understand. Because that's the way of improving service. And by the way, all these things we are getting, we are paying for them. It's not a gift.
Yeah.
And these people are crying for money. Oh. They are saying that we need more money. And yet people are coming, they have to pay money to other people to get it. Yeah. ECG. So which is why I think the NIA has been pretty cool for some time. I think.
Yeah, and
the
you see,
NIA has been
let
pretty
me
cool for
add
some time.
something to what you said earlier. Look, for a long time we've been talking about. I made this point much earlier. We've been talking about the Ghana Post and why it has become not viable and how to revamp it and all of that. All these government services. I don't see why I should physically walk, right, to the DVLA to collect my DVLA license. What do you call it? Driver's license. No. Ideally, with all the digital addresses that we say we have come together, we have been able to produce, the PO boxes and all of that, it should be possible that once you have filled in the details, that, I live at this particular address, right? There should be an extra charge. Which charge will be taken by the Ghana Post?
To bring the thing to my house.
To bring the thing directly to your house. If it is the office, it comes directly to Citi FM. That, okay, you apply for ABCD. We are giving you an extra charge of what? 10 Ghana cedis for delivering to your house, or 70 Ghana cedis, depending on what the circumstances may be.
Correct.
If it is Kumasi, if you have to use, special vehicles produced for the Ghana Post Service to be able to do that, because that's what happens in the UK majority of the times.
The Ghana Post GPS, does it work?
Oh no, I think maybe
I'll be fair to
That's
Ghana
the
Post.
address.
I had to get my degree delivered this week or last week. The guy came to the house. He rang the bell. No one answered the bell. He was nice enough to write a note with his phone number. I wanted to deliver it.
So this is the Ghana Post as a company?
As a company.
But
No,
did you-
he wrote it
I'm
himself.
coming. What address did you give the people?
My house. So they came to my house, but
Did you give them your house number or your digital address?
the house number.
Not the digital address.
No, the house. But that's what I'm saying. To be fair, they found the house. He
Okay.
rang the bell. I think I was awake. The person was at home, was in the shower, whatever.
So but at least they came to the house.
And he wrote a note himself. This was his own thing. He could have just taken it back to the office. I wouldn't have heard anything. He wrote a note that, okay, my name is this from Ghana Post.
Call me.
Left at the door. So I called him. It turns out he had left. So I hadn't taken it on delivery the second time. But
he brought it.
So I went to the post office because he had left it.
But
Spoke to his
my
colleagues,
aim
but
for the
he-
Ghana Post question was not about the organization Ghana
But
Post.
whether they use the Ghana Post address.
The Ghana Post address, when you put it, how does it work?
No, because it's for my university. My university won't ask me for Ghana Post address. They'll ask me for house number.
And your
No.
house is not in a place that can. So your house is in a normal place that we can. Number
Yeah,
2
but
Coconut Street.
yeah,
They
exactly.
will find you.
Yeah, exactly. So they are doing
actually,
decent
to be
work.
fair,
And the Ghana Post is on
I
your
want Sky
sign.
to
if
elaborate.
you use the app and you enter the details required, so maybe you have a particular
The Ghana Post GPS.
Yes,
It
when you
works?
enter it and you click on it,
It works.
will give you a direction to where you are going to.
Okay.
The point I'm making is that if we can leverage these things properly,
Yeah.
then the systems speak to each other. You finish your thing, Ghana Post picks it up. Okay, the customer is Bernard Kokuavle. He lives in Kutunse, right? Number so and so and so and so and so.
Yeah.
So then we collect all the licenses going to Kutunse. We give
Yeah.
it to one rider Ghana Post written on the courier, and then he rides to that particular part of town, and then from door to door he does that.
Yeah.
And then also there's an app which makes it possible for you to track where at what stage your service is.
But you can track your food you buy. So how can't you track?
Yes, that's what we should be
Because
doing.
the public institutions are not interested in that.
So then you come and say, oh, we have
Meanwhile, when
printed.
the CEO comes and says they are corrupt, they say they are wrong.
You can say you have printed 5 million cards and the owners are not coming for them.
How?
No.
Send it to their house.
That is inefficient.
Yeah.
The last time we burnt so many cards.
Because they didn't know who had come for who had.
It doesn't make sense.
Let's read some
Passports have
comments.
been printed. We don't know how to circulate them.
It's because sometimes even in the public service also there's no consequence for lack of performance. Because you see, the person who is doing Uber food, he wants his money. So he'll make sure you track the delivery and you bring the food to your house. The guy at this Ghana Post or DVLA or whatever, whether you get your card or not, you still get paid.
It's wrong.
That's the problem. You see, that's the public center mentality. That, oh, Charlie, if they don't come for it, you don't care. Country broke, country not broke, we're inside. If they can run it with the mentality of those who run these Ubers and things, a lot of them will sit up. Oh.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, because they will not treat their own personal business like that.
It's just so wrong.
But because the government saying, oh, the people, they are not serious. So if they don't come, they should not come.
But let's rope in some comments from our viewers, loads of them. If the DVLA boss cannot work without Girl Boys, then he has no business working there. Joe from Elmina. Good morning, Bernard and team. Please let Sky know that not only do Girl Boys engage in criminal activities, but they.
He's saying that the Girl Boys are not the only criminals.
Okay.
The full-time staff are also criminals.
Oh, they're also involved in some criminal activities, like taking bribes, etc. Okay, hello. Greetings, Team CVS. Please, it took me 2 years to obtain my driver's license in 2012. I wrote 2 different tests and even found myself in the DVLA director's office to go through the road
But this is
traffic
2012.
signs.
This is 2012.
Yeah.
We're in 2025.
Girl Boys to become para DVLA staff, and who pays them? Even if they help people fill their forms, they will still create inconveniences by colluding with regular DVLA staff to frustrate customers who can fill their own forms. Drop that idea. Kukuyabua from China. Bernard, one thing is all these procedures we've mentioned, eye test, driving test, and whatever, can be skipped because the Girl Boys know someone who can get your license without you going through them. Good morning, Bernard.
Morning.
Is that okay? I'm not gonna take this one from North Carolina. Hello, Bernard. Who is suggesting Girl Boys to be licensed? That person lacks expertise and ideas. If he's a government appointee, he should be sacked quickly. If he's just a civil servant, warn him.
Hey, it's okay,
Okay,
KD.
it's fine.
Take it
it's
easy.
fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Just an idea.
To be honest with you, when you listen, you see, this is the thing. When you listen to something initially, it sounds preposterous. But upon further scrutiny, there's a sense in which part of it can make sense.
It has promise.
Not the whole idea, though. The idea has to be well refined.
We said that a lot of people find inefficiency. They try to just manage the inefficiency by just bringing it in.
Because even the premium service thing we are talking about, I feel that if you don't have the means to pay more, you're really going to struggle. We create premium instead of making our public services more efficient. We create premium for the rich, and then the rich also then later come to complain that they are not getting the services on time. If things were efficient, we might not need the premium.
I think most other countries, there's not even premium. It's just fast track. You don't go and sit in some lounge and pay. You just pay fast track. But you see the premium in Ghana, you go and sit and then they'll come and save you tea and biscuits. I don't know how to.
It takes a lot of time still.
They should just
Bernard,
fast
the
track.
DVLA delivery service car is proposing already exists too. The challenge is voluntary. You must sign up if you want. Here's some exciting news from the bank with the coolest tagline, not just another bank. Yeah, we're talking Omnibus 6 new tagline, not just another bank. We're redefining banking with a new commitment to making you our cherished customer, partner, the happiest person. Visit any of our branches or call 0307 086 000 or 0302 758 555 or call toll free 0800 100 790. Omnibus 6 Bank, not just another bank. All right, we need to take a short break. When we come back, we will take you into a very important conversation. So the new, or you can call the acting EPA boss, I guess that's the name, right? Professor Nama Brown Kluche delivered her inaugural lecture at the University of Ghana a couple of weeks ago. I think it was 27th March, just 3 days ago. And it was quite an interesting one. Physics, policy, and politics of climate change, the foundation of human survival. And I think it's a very interesting lecture to listen to because she brings all these areas of expertise into her presentation. A scientist who's now running the EPA. She spoke also about Galamsey. So Professor Brown-Kluche's...
And there should be sun winning too. It's a major danger.
She probably added that.
Okay.
So I will bring that presentation to you after this break because I think it's a very good way of using the rest of your morning to reflect on something very smart. So Professor Brown-Kluche will be joining us after this break to hear more about physics, policy, and the politics of climate change, which is the foundation of human survival. Stay with us.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
As a busy professional, I struggled with back and neck strain from long hours at my desk. To improve my focus, productivity, and well-being, I sought expert advice from the CEO of Expert Office Furnish.
After being in the furniture business for 25 years, I can tell you two things that causes back pain in the workspace: bad sitting posture and not sitting on a good chair. I recommend to you the Genevia Beeper chair, the chair that helps you to sit right. When you don't sit right, it beeps for you to be able to sit right. The next will be the Enjoy chair. It takes every body shape and size. Buy a chair that will support your back and give you that comfort to be able to deliver on your job.
Expert Office Furnish offers molding furniture for comfort, productivity, and style. From seating to customized solutions, plus interior decoration services, they've got it all. Find them off the Atomic Hills Estate Road in Ashonman or call 0571 386602 on Facebook and Instagram at Expert Office Furnish.
Afi for free. Provident Insurance Bema Quentway on Dessa. If you January equal see March 2025. What the insurance one some shop Provident Insurance and sa. Some will renew and now we have for free. Penya Chadia P. Emu fuel coupons and Provident Souvenirs Papa B. And you will change it. One year WhatsApp assistant or buy and chat is here. 024-242-6396. Obeso 2 out over to me swakwa 15 branches. Yet to a particular and mobile. Over to me soon brokers and agents in the mobile needs our swap. Fear Janami and Sunny na Provident Insurance as some Ghana man some power Maconia Badi wa Wabambo. Massa special for you for Kaisan check a
With Provident, man, you're covered.
Ever wondered why the finest treasures of Africa feel like hidden secrets? The craftsmanship, the passion, the untold stories. Well, Ghana, the wait is over. Afro quality is here. Afro quality is your destination for the finest collection of African products. From beautifully crafted, ready-to-wear clothes, organic skincare products, bags, shoes, and fashion accessories. All made in Africa and curated from Ghana to Kenya, Rwanda to South Sudan, South Africa to Nigeria, and all over the continent. Every item is made for those who value the best. Find us in East Legon on the American House Road on top of Say Cheers. Visit at afroquality.com on Instagram or TikTok or 053-33-92345. Afroquality, because you deserve the finest.
Hey, so what goes into building quality structures? I mean, literally, what goes into it? Wujaf, you don't want to be sitting here somewhere worrying whether or not you did a really good job. It's a very simple equation. If there's no diamond cement in the mix, massa, forget it. Don't start cry. Menye, diamond cement has been providing builders, block makers, and construction companies that peace of mind for years. Diamond cement is 42.5 R grade cement. Unbeatable quality made right here in Ghana. And because we have your pocket in mind, we provide 32.5 R grade so that everybody getting on. No long talk, Jack. If there's no diamond cement in the mix, don't start. Locate Diamond Cement Ghana Limited nationwide with factories in Aflao, Takrade, and Buipe, or call 0244-313-368 or 0540-111-978 or 0202-021-175. Diamond Cement, still as hard as a diamond.
Charlie, where are you?
Bossman, I'm at the bank.
Really? But your car is in front of your house.
Bro, my bank on my phone, Charlie.
Oh, how?
EcoBank, bro. With EcoBank mobile app, I can do everything, anywhere, anytime. Listen, I just checked my account balance, paid Ahmed's school fees, and sent money to my grandma at Walwale.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Masa, just download the EcoBank mobile app from the Google Play Store or the App Store, or dial *770# and be your own bank manager.
Manager.
Whether to pay bills or fees, to check account statements, send money across Ghana, abroad, and more, EcoBank mobile app has got it covered. EcoBank Mobile, making everyday people live everyday lives the EcoBank way. EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
Electromat Ramadan Bonanza this Ramadan season. Buy your favorite brands like Samsung, LG, Broom, Aya, Tomasi, Philips, Black Decker, Orient, Benetton, Infinix, and take home incredible savings and rewards. Visit our Electromat showroom today or check our social media and website for current offers. Make your Ramadan fasting magical with extraordinary deals and gifts from Electromat. Terms and conditions apply. Electromat, your world of electronics.
Hi, Mom, it's me, Kwame.
Hey, Kwame, how are you?
Mom, I'm fine, oh.
Okay.
You know something?
No, tell me.
I'm looking for a complete furniture set for my new place.
Kwame, I've told you before, the only one place you should go, eh?
Yeah, Mom, but I need a mattress to fit my bed.
Ash foam.
I need a bed to fit my room.
Ash foam.
What about a sofa where go relax my body?
Ash foam.
Wardrobes to fit all my clothes?
Ash foam.
What about linens and pillows for sweet dreams?
Kwame, ash foam.
Mommy, I don't feel you. Ash foam all the way.
From mattresses to beds, sofas, wardrobes, linens, pillows, and more. Don't waste time and visit any Ashram showroom across the country or call our hotline at 0243 200 729. Ashfoam. Feel it, know it.
The Accra Healing and Deliverance Crusade is here.
God takes his people and put them in charge.
Ministering Dr. Pastor Paul and Becky Eninche, all the way from Glory Dome in Abuja, Nigeria. Theme, Dominion, date 10th and 11th of April 2025. Venue, El-Wax Sports Stadium. Song ministration, Emoji, Ankalato, Kofi Bohan, Prophet Okebe, Prosper Otimana, and Minister Mark Frank. Also happening live is the Workforce and Ministers Conference, happening at the Accra International Conference Center at 9 a.m. on the 11th of April. Free shuttles to the venue will be available. For more information, call 0257 765 546. The Accra Healing and Deliverance Crusade. Be there.
Hello, boss. I just drove out of your premises. I've called you several times. Boss, I beg.
I gave you an opportunity to present your proposal with your financial statements. You didn't. If we approve and request for an invoice, that will take you another month, eh? You couldn't even provide receipts from the last job. My brother, we have given the contract to someone else who promptly furnished us with what we needed. Get serious.
Yehoah.
Don't be caught in this mess ever again. Restart with Build. Build provides businesses with a comprehensive accounting software with features that make your bookkeeping, accounting, tax, and payroll functions seamless. Our support team is always available to assist and respond to all your inquiries. Log on to www.build.africa and sign up. Call 030-84007 or 0303-974-832 for more information. Build. Bookkeeping made simple. Results made extraordinary.
This is the City Breakfast Show. The city's biggest conversation. The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is City 97.3.
It's an honor to have the opportunity to deliver my inaugural lecture on the topic Physics, Policy, Politics of Climate Change, the Foundation of Human Survival. I extend my sincere gratitude to the university management for providing me with this platform. For every academic reaching this pinnacle is a significant milestone in their career journey. Ladies and gentlemen, you may be interested in understanding why it will rain in Medina, but not at the University of Ghana campus, even though these locations are just a few kilometers apart. The answer lies in the complex nature of our climate system, which is influenced by both global and local factors. My research focuses on atmospheric physics, as the chair introduced. It spans from the upper atmosphere to the lower atmosphere. The Earth's atmosphere is a layer of gases surrounding our planet Earth and held around the Earth by gravity. I hope we all know the Earth's gravity. It is that force that will bring you down when you jump, or when you throw any object up, it will bring it down. The atmosphere is crucial for life by providing breathable air, shielding us from harmful solar radiation and regulating temperature of the Earth. The impact of upper atmospheric processes on the lower atmosphere is significant and continues to be an area of active research. I co-authored a paper that explains how the upper atmospheric disturbances affect an important tropical phenomena, the intertropical convergence zone. This controls our rainfall pattern, wind pattern, and other climate variables in Africa. The paper was led by Dr. Patrick Essien, who is here present. My research focuses on the lower atmosphere, where weather and climate processes directly impact life on Earth. This layer plays a key role in climate dynamics, modeling, and impact assessment. Since this layer is a layer where all life exists, including humans, it is crucial to explore how the atmosphere changes influence our environment and well-being. Madam Chair, at first glance, my audience may find the topic a straightforward one. However, as we progress through this lecture, we will explore its deeper meaning and complexities. By the end, we will all gain a comprehensive understanding of the subject and why I chose to focus on it for my inaugural lecture. Professor Chair, permit me to elaborate on the title of my lecture, and in a literal sense, I embody the very essence of this topic. From my education to my professional practice, I am both a physicist and a politician, bridging the gap between science and policy. I will reiterate some of the points the chair introduced for emphasis. Climate change remains one of the most pressing challenges of our time, affecting every aspect of human life and the planet's ecosystem. Understanding climate change requires a strong foundation in physics, as it governs key processes such as atmospheric dynamics, energy transfer, and radiative forcing. These fundamental physical principles underpin climate model and project future climate scenarios and assess the impact of greenhouse gas emissions. As the chairman said, scientific knowledge alone is insufficient to address climate crisis. It's important to translate the climate science into action that requires well-informed policies and political commitment at both the national and international levels. The politics of climate change does play a crucial role in determining the ambition and implementation of climate policies worldwide. Madam Chair, my lecture examines how scientific knowledge informs policy decisions, the obstacles in translating climate science into effective policies, and the political landscape influencing climate action. The interconnectedness of these three dimensions emphasize the urgent need for political will to tackle the climate crisis. Addressing climate change is not merely about reducing emissions or adapting to its impact. As the chairman said, it is again about safeguarding the very foundation of human existence. Only through the integration of science, informed policy making, and strong political will can we secure a sustainable future for generations to come. Madam Chair, it is an honor of representing Africa in the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, the IPCC, as the Vice Chair of Working Group 1. The IPCC, a United Nations body responsible for assessing the science related to climate change. Notably, I am the first Ghanaian to attain this position within the IPCC. Thank you. Through both my national and international engagements, I can say with high confidence that the climate system is complex, not only as a scientific challenge, but also as a political challenge. Politics plays a critical role in shaping how climate policies are developed and implemented. Although climate change is widely recognized as a global emergency, causing irreversible losses and damages to our planet, even securing adequate political agreement remains a struggle. A striking example is the United States withdrawal from the International Climate Action and Development Assistance, highlighting the potential tensions that hinder progress. Imagine projects ceased because funding such as USAID have been withdrawn and many related funding threatening to cut down. This political decision is affecting many developmental activities. For example, the halted mangrove restoration in Keta is increasing coastal erosion risks. This is enough evidence that governments should invest in research and implementation of same. One thing is certain, the impact of climate change is real, overwhelmingly negative, and becoming more devastating over time. We have all contributed to global warming, and we must all be part of the solution. If you are benefiting from burning of fossil fuels, simply, if you are driving or being driven, you have contributed to global warming. If you are involved in land clearing or benefiting from land use change, including the house you live in and the food you eat, you are responsible. How much we contribute to climate change depends on our country of residence, lifestyle, and consumption patterns. The rich, the most responsible. The poor is the greatest victim of climate change, while contributing the least to the problem. This is an ethical dilemma. The world is warming fast, and we may hit 1.5 degrees Celsius limits that is set by the Paris Agreement in just 2 years. This will lead to increased food shortage, dry spell, heat waves, water shortages, as well as forced migration on a large scale. Mathematically, achieving the Paris Agreement goal is still possible, but only if we tackle or we take critical and urgent actions. The ongoing rise in global warming is not surprising. It is a direct consequence of over-dependence of fossil fuel and the combustion of same, a process governed by basic chemistry. For every gram of petrol or diesel we burn, Approximately 3 grams of carbon dioxide is released into the atmosphere. This follows a straightforward equation which you can see on the screen. Check your car exhaust and observe some droplet of water. This water is what you see in the equation, H2O. Is the symbol, chemical symbol for water. So you cannot see the carbon dioxide. In the equation is CO2. You cannot see the carbon dioxide coming from your car exhaust, but if your car is burning fuel efficiently, you will see the water. Otherwise, if your car is not burning fuel efficiently, it means it's even more dangerous, it's causing more pollution, because what we get eventually is carbon monoxide, which is even more dangerous. As hydrocarbons combine with oxygen, carbon dioxide is inevitably produced and are released into the atmosphere. This is one of the reasons we are getting the global warming. Professor Chair, let me take this opportunity to explain the difference between global warming and climate change. I have used these interchangeably, and I wish to bring some clarity to them. When we say global warming, we're talking about climate change in relation to temperature alone. Climate change in general relates to all variables in the atmosphere, including temperature. And I hope I've not confused my audience. So if the pattern of climate change, if the pattern of rainfall has changed today compared to some 20, 30 years ago, we can say climate change in relation to rainfall. As part of my research on the impact of global warming, I led a study that resulted in a paper that assessed how 1.5 degrees Celsius and 2 degrees Celsius global warming will influence consecutive dry days and consecutive wet days. These are key indicators of droughts and floods. Climate change is reshaping rainfall patterns, impacting agriculture, water resources, and ecosystems in West Africa. Declining consecutive wet days could affect hydropower generation, drinking water supply, and irrigation. Shorter wet periods may lead to lower crop yields and increased food security. Madam Chair, in a related study, I contributed to future climate model predicts a 10 to 40% decline in water availability across 5 major West African river basins, increasing the risk of water shortages. 2 examples are River Niger and our own Volta. Madam Chair, every Ghanaian should be concerned about the state of our water bodies. Already threatened by climate change, they are now facing further pollution from illegal mining activities and indiscriminate waste dumping. These activities are worsening our already critical situation, making the water issue even harder to protect the water resources. Ladies and gentlemen, we may be living far away from the Arctic and Antarctic regions and may not want to care about the climate situation that side. However, climate is global. Climate is global, and one process affects the other. Melting glaciers and thermal expansion of ocean contribute to rising sea levels. Thank you, Professor Vice President, for honoring this lecture. Melting glaciers and thermal expansion of oceans contribute to rising sea levels. Low-lying cities and island nations are facing flooding and losing their coastline to the sea. If we lose the Arctic, we lose the world. The melting of the Arctic ice due to global warming has 3 major consequences: release of greenhouse gases stored in the ice, further amplifying global warming, As ice melts, darker surfaces are exposed, absorbing more heat and accelerating local warming. Increased sea levels as melted ice add more water to the ocean, leading to coastal erosion. It is projected that coastal erosion will displace at least 2 million people by 2030, severely impacting their livelihood. In Ghana, the impact of climate change is evident in rising sea level and coastal erosion. We have seen a number of news items on Agaveji, Salakope, and Amutianu area in the Ketu South districts that need immediate intervention on coastal erosion. My few days as the Chief Executive Officer at the Environmental Protection Authority and observing the coastal erosion across Ghana, I now understand the poem, "The Sea Eats the Land at Home." This is a poem by Kofi Aweno in 1964. On this, who pays for loss and damage, has been a discussion at the Conference of Party, we normally call it COP, at the United Nations Convention on Climate Change for some years now. This is highly political. I contributed to a research paper led by Dr. Richard Adade, who was my student from Wascal, that explored solutions for vulnerable coastal communities facing displacement due to climate change. Another significant impact of melting ice lies in the unknowns. Factors that remain uncertain could have profound consequences. If permitted, Professor Chair, I would like to repeat what His Excellency John Dramani Mahama explained during his inaugural speech on 7th January 2025. With the increase of the climate crisis and as the waters grow warmer, melting icebergs and permafrost, there is a greater likelihood for viruses that have been frozen and thought to be extinct for decades, perhaps even centuries, to spread and create global pandemic. This highlights the potential risk of ancient pathogens resurfacing due to thawing permafrost, a scenario that could trigger new global health crisis. Today, more than ever, climate change has proven to be a significant threat. One of its most pressing challenges is its impact on agriculture. Information for decision-making and planning is inevitable in building resilience, particularly for smallholder farmers who are most vulnerable to climate variability. In a research study published, we analyzed projected temperature increases in their likely implications for smallholder farming systems across the northern regions of Ghana. The study, based on data from 1961 to 2000, found that the mean annual temperatures across Ghana rose by 1 degree Celsius, with the highest rate of warming observed in the northeastern part of the country. This research, published as Klute et al. 2021, provides critical insight into how climate change will affect crop yields, water availability, and food security in the northern regions of Ghana. Climate change situation needs urgent attention. It requires a top global priority, yet our response lacks the urgency. Perhaps because climate change progresses more gradually. If we respond to the climate change as we did during the COVID-19 pandemic, we would have made some significant progress. A befitting analogy is the boiling frog fable, I normally use, if you drop a live frog in a boiling water, it will jump out immediately. But if you place it in a lukewarm water and gradually increase the heat, the frog stays in live, adapting to each change until it boils to death. This is how we have approached the issue of climate change, slowly adapting rather than taking swift, decisive actions. We have all contributed to climate change, as I said earlier on, whether in big or small ways. In Africa, we argue that we have contributed less to global warming. While this is true, small contribution can be significant because in the climate system, there is no strict distinction between small and big impact. This aligns with Lorentz theory, this is physics, the foundation of chaos theory, which shows that small changes in initial conditions can lead to massive long-term effects in dynamical systems. It informs us to be mindful even with our small contributions. Every fraction of a degree matters for achieving the Paris Agreement goal. Think of a cup of water filled to the brim. Adding a few more drops may still keep the cup full. However, there may be one more drop that will cause the cup of water to overflow. And when it does, many more drops spills over uncontrollably. What if we are closer to the tipping point than we realize? Anywhere, if you look on the screen, anywhere before the pivot, the ball, or in this case, the earth, can return to its original position. So the inclined plane is showing the warming, the global warming situation now. So any point along the inclined plane, the earth could restore back to its original position until it goes beyond the pivot. That is when the earth will run into an uncontrollable state, by which time the current understanding of our climate system will not permit us to predict the climate. We can no longer tell how the future will look like. We may not know how rainfall would be, how temperature will be, how wind system will be, how storms will be. Professor Chair, if I had only one option to choose a field of study, I would choose climate physics again. The reason being that in this field, you gain a deep appreciation of the complex processes that govern our atmosphere, our very home. More importantly, you realize that climate is not an isolated discipline. Rather, it underpins and connects to every field of study. So we can relate climate change connecting to the Sustainable Development Goal. In physics, from solid state physics and material science to high energy physics, energy studies, and environmental physics, climate plays a fundamental role. But it extends far beyond the physical sciences. In social science, climate change influences sociology, psychology, and economics. It raises critical questions of justice and law. Question: who bears the cost of climate-related losses and damages? As I've asked earlier on, who is responsible for adaptation and mitigation? In a broader sense, climate is linked to everything from archaeology to zoology. In climate physics, we engage with data management, signal processing, mathematics, computer programming, human psychology, and even mental health. The interdisciplinary nature of climate science makes it one of the most critical fields of our time, demanding urgent attention and collective action. Meanwhile, Professor Chair, Africa lacks adequate expertise in climate science. In the latest IPCC assessment report, only 11% of the lead authors were from Africa. A stark reminder of the gap in representation and in expertise. To help bridge this gap, my research efforts since obtaining a PhD have resulted in over 69 publications, supervision and mentorship of more than 60 students in climate-related fields. Thank you. Beyond direct supervision, I have actively contributed to numerous capacity building initiatives aimed at strengthening climate science expertise across the continent. It is my hope that the many students who have benefited from my guidance will in turn give back to society through research, training, contributions to both national and international discussions on climate change. Madam Chair, my swift career progression has been driven by hard work and teamwork. I established a research group comprising my students and colleagues, which at its peak grew to 35 members. Together, we secured grants, conducted research, and published scientific findings, an approach that has not only advanced my career, but also propelled the careers of many students and collaborators. I am pleased to share that Rebecca Belkon Oforiwa, a PhD student of Physics Department, successfully graduated last month during the University of Ghana's congregation. I had the privilege of supervising her alongside Dr. Hubert Azoda Kofi of the Department of Physics and Dr. Francis Nkrumah of the University of Cape Coast. He was my former student as well and now a colleague. Rebecca's research focused on teleconnections of climate variability, making significant contribution to our understanding of how distant oceanic conditions influence the climate of West Africa. I have singled this student out of many students because she worked in less than 4 years on her PhD at the Department of Physics. Thank you. The bigger one is coming. She also happens to be my first PhD student to female, the first female PhD student to graduate at the University of Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, in climate modeling, we improve our understanding of the climate system and make projections of the future climate based on probable storylines we call scenarios. Socioeconomic pathways refer to different possible futures that describe how global and regional society, economics, and policies might evolve in the coming decades. My contribution in this space are a number of articles published. One of the papers examined projected changes in temperature and precipitation over the African continent during the 21st century. These papers emphasize that climate action is deeply linked to global and regional development choices. One of the important use of such scenarios is predicting the suitability of crop yield in different parts of Ghana. A consultancy work I did for the Food and Agriculture Organization for Ghana presented future yield and suitability of rice, maize, millet, and sorghum in the northern half of Ghana. It is revealing to know how these crops will perform in future. Such findings inform government and farmers particularly on where and when to plant crops and the amount or investment that these crops will need. In my career, I have met people and funders who are only interested in the impact of climate change and not the basic science of climate change. But I think we will appreciate it more if we understand why and how the processes in the climate system occur. I had to stay smart in not losing my fundamental field of training in the physics of climate, but also saw the importance of making an impact. My journey has been climate dynamics through modeling the climate and the impact of climate. A significant part of my progress is due to the collaborations I have with many institutions in Ghana and at the international level. I'll mention a few. The support I received from the International Center for Theoretical Physics, we say ICTP, in Trieste, Italy, provides me with invaluable resources, mentorship, and research collaborations that enhance my work in physics. Through their programs, I have gained access to cutting-edge scientific knowledge, advanced computational tools, and a network of leading researchers. This support has not only strengthened my expertise, but has also enabled me to contribute meaningfully to global scientific discussions and capacity building efforts in Africa. The University of Cape Town, where I obtained my PhD, continues to provide support for my research through my supervisor, Professor Babatunde Joseph Abiodun. I served as a researcher with the financial support from Government of Canada through the African Institute of Mathematical Sciences, AIMS, in Kigali and in Ghana. These support systems extend also to my students and members of my research group. Professor Chair, I believe everyone must get into some kind of politics to understand human behavior. Politics, whether partisan politics, university politics, or climate politics, is about human management. The IPCC State Assessment Report, which I contributed to as a lead author, is bold to report that climate change is red-coded for humans. The decisions of the IPCC, though scientifically important, it is largely political. Approval of programs and reports are done by government. The IPCC strives to pursue scientific integrity and continuity as the most authoritative and policy-relevant voice on climate science globally. Madam Chair, the IPCC was created to provide policymakers with regular scientific assessments on climate change, its implications, and potential future risk, as well as to put forward adaptation and mitigation options. The IPCC report informs major global policies and are ratified in various countries. For example, the IPCC's first assessment report, we say FAR, established the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, the UNFCCC, which is the United Nations entity tasked to supporting the global response to the threats of climate change. The second assessment report of the IPCC informed the Kyoto Protocol, committing industrialized countries and economics in transition to limit and reduce greenhouse gases emissions in accordance with agreed individual targets. The third assessment report, we say TAR, informed the Adaptation Fund. The fourth assessment, informing the 2 degrees target, is the international climate policy goal of limiting global warming to less than 2 degrees Celsius compared to pre-industrial levels. And the fifth assessment report informed the popular Paris Agreement. The most recent report, which is the 6th assessment report of the IPCC, is informing the global stocktake 1 and the phasing out of fossil fuel discussions. The policies of climate change shape a lot of decisions and actions in our countries.
That's all time will allow us for. We heard excerpts of Professor Nanama Brown-Cloutier's inaugural lecture, bringing us to the top of the hour. My name is Caleb Kuda. Netele Nete is here with Netele Nete Ajaho. I'm sorry, I got that. I missed that. Yeah.
Don't worry.
Good morning, Netele Nete Ajaho.
Good morning, Caleb.
Yeah, good to see you. What's in the news at 10?
Coming up in City News at 10, DVLA to regulate Goro boys to curb fraud and improve service.